Naval headquarters. The warship slowly approached. Luo Cheng stood on the warship and looked at the naval headquarters in front of him, feeling a little emotional. Finally at naval headquarters, and honestly, I really don't want to go back to naval headquarters. What a day in North Blue. Garp next to him rolled his eyes. Luo Cheng rests in North Blue every day, and goes to blackmail the nobles when he has nothing to do, and his life is naturally very happy. Don't think so much, just go back. Sengoku has been waiting for you for a long time. Garp walked out first. Luo Cheng was also quite speechless. He followed Garp and walked into the office together. Many Marine generals are here. The only 3 Admiral is not here. After all, as Marine 3 Admiral, they have a lot of things to do. Of course it is impossible to stay. Sengoku saw Luo Cheng walking in, with a look of resentment on his face, and wanted to slap Luo Cheng to death. Why did this kind of thing every day waste his time, and often make him angry? Couldn't it be a little more low-key? But Luo Cheng's strength is very strong. He can't fight, can't scold, and he is very reluctant to give up. In the end, Sengoku gave up punishing Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng, during this time, you are so abominable. You have done so many things, and even blackmailed the nobles of North Blue. Sengoku said through gritted teeth. Luo Cheng completely ignored Sengoku's words and found a place to sit while looking around. They were all Marine generals he knew. In addition to these generals, there are Suru Vice Admiral and Guion. Guion Meimei stared at Luo Cheng. Her eyes were full of admiration, and she could not wait to throw herself into Luo Cheng's arms now. Crane Vice Admiral naturally noticed Guion's eyes and felt helpless. He didn't expect Guion to like Luo Cheng so much. I can't wait to be with Luo Cheng. Sengoku had a dark face and was very upset. Luo Cheng, did you listen to me? Luo Cheng raised his head and looked at Sengoku. Marshal Sengoku, is there anything else? Sengoku gritted his teeth. This kid is too hateful, but his strength is too powerful. He can't help Luo Cheng, and he can only accept all this. But it's really unpleasant. Forget it, just pretend I didn't say anything and do whatever you want. Sengoku sighed helplessly and gave up the treatment. He really couldn't help Luo Cheng. Next to him, Vice Admiral Suru saw Guion's eyes, and he had no choice but to ask. Luo Cheng, do you have a girlfriend? Guion was very nervous. She also wanted to know if Luo Cheng had a girlfriend, and especially wanted to be with Luo Cheng. Of course Luo Cheng knew what Crane Vice Admiral meant, took a peek at Guion, and then shook his head. Women only affect how fast I can draw my sword. Many people present were stunned for a moment, completely not expecting Luo Cheng to say such a thing. Guion was very disappointed, thinking that Luo Cheng was going to reject her, even a little desperate. Crane Vice Admiral's face darkened. Could it be that you want to be like Mihawk? In order to become the world's largest swordsman, you don't even want to find a woman. Of course Garp knew what Suru Vice Admiral was thinking, and he also knew what Guion was thinking, so he said earnestly. Luo Cheng, don't do this, it's better to find a girlfriend. How lonely a person is. There was also expectation in Guion's eyes. She only hoped that Luo Cheng could choose him. No, you misunderstood. In my eyes, women will only affect the speed of my sword drawing, so I decided to abandon my sword and become a great swordsman. Luo Cheng has indeed given up swordsmanship. Stormfruit, thunder-breathing. It's enough for him. He doesn't need to study so much at all. He has so much wealth, it's better to accumulate it. Maybe it will be useful in the future. Everyone on both sides stared blankly. What did they hear? Luo Cheng gave up swordsmanship, thinking that Luo Cheng would give up women for swordsmanship. Sure enough, this is the real Luo Cheng. Guion noticed that Luo Cheng glanced at himself and thought that Luo Cheng was interested in her, and even gave up his kendo for her. So moved. The unsatisfactory Guion couldn't help shedding a tear. Crane Vice Admiral sighed next to him. Luo Cheng was really pervertible. Just a few words, he could have managed Guion. Or my sister is too stupid. Luo Cheng got it done so easily. Even more moved. Brother Luo Cheng, you don't need to give up swordsmanship for me. Your kendo talent is excellent. You can definitely become stronger, and even become the world's largest swordsman. Luo Cheng looked at Guion, who was moved to tears, and wanted to say that he was not for Guion, but in the end he restrained himself. After all, he is not a straight man, and she thinks Guion is also quite good, a very good person. He likes a cute little girl like Guion. Don't be moved, I just feel that I am strong enough. Even without swordsmanship, I am still one of the strongest people in the world. The hearts of many marine generals of the swordsman level nearby were broken. The words were so powerful that it broke their hearts. They also wanted to have Luo Cheng's excellent kendo talent, but Luo Cheng was so good, and finally gave up. Especially Luo Cheng gave up his best kendo talent, and his final strength is still very pervert. It can't even be described as pervert anymore. This is simply a bit over the top of pervert.
Sengoku was also quite speechless. He thought Luo Cheng's words were very lethal. Looking at the blue-faced marine nearby, he knew how lethal it was.
Luo Cheng, don't talk too much, you can leave. From now on, you will be transferred to New World. When you get there, don't mess with me. No problem, I'll go first. Luo Cheng turned to leave, and when he left, he glanced at the Tiankong cloud sword in his hand. He has given up swordsmanship, so this Tiankong Yunjian seems unnecessary and can be given to others. For example, to Guion. But after thinking about it, Luo Cheng gave up. Because although Guion has a good impression of him, but Ain also has a good impression of him, she is not going to give up either of them. It is not only him who uses a supremely sharp knife, it is definitely impossible to give it to others. At least wait until there are 2 weapons before sending them out. It's time to get 2 people at once. Luo Cheng couldn't help snickering. Many people nearby shivered, always feeling that something was wrong with Luo Cheng. Wait. Luo Cheng, there is one more thing, you stay here for now. Sengoku suddenly stopped Luo Cheng. Although Luo Cheng didn't understand, he stayed. Marshal Sengoku, is there anything else? Luo Cheng, you've been doing really well these days, so I've decided to make you a Marine Admiral backup. Sengoku said. Nearby Marine looked surprised. They also didn't expect Luo Cheng to become an Admiral candidate, which means that Luo Cheng's rank is a little higher than them. And unlike other Admiral candidates are just ordinary Admiral candidates. Their strength is a little worse than Marine Admiral, and it is very likely that they will not be Marine Admiral. However, Luo Cheng, an Admiral candidate, is a very strong pervert. As long as there is a vacant position, he can become a Marine Admiral. Admiral candidate, I didn't expect me to be so good, could first become Marine Admiral as long as Sakazuki died. Luo Cheng muttered to himself. Sengoku's face darkened, and the nearby Marine generals twitched their mouths, feeling extremely speechless in their hearts. I don't know what Luo Cheng thinks. Luo Cheng, please don't mess around, and don't let me know that you did something to Sakazuki in order to become Marine Admiral. Don't worry, I'm definitely not this type of person, I just asked, and I was a little curious, how could I do such a bad thing? Luo Cheng immediately denied it. He really didn't think so, he just said it subconsciously. Sengoku was a little skeptical, and really worried that Luo Cheng would do this. He didn't need 2 Marine Admirals fighting each other. All in all, you must not mess around. If you let me know you messed up, don't blame me for being rude. Sengoku deliberately warned. Luo Cheng calmly found a place to sit, not worried at all, not even taking Sengoku's words to heart. He's thinking about his own business now. By the way, Marshal Sengoku, I was attacked by the Revolutionary Army not long ago. Have you found any news about the Revolutionary Army? Garp was a little nervous beside him and sat up straight. After all, this is his son, and he must care about his own son. Sengoku also glanced at Garp and gritted his teeth angrily. It's all to blame for this guy Garp, who doesn't know how to educate his son well, and now such a thing has happened. The Revolutionary Army besieged Marine Vice Admiral. Garp was naturally embarrassed as well, looking down at Sengoku with a little embarrassment. Luo Cheng, don't worry, I will handle this matter properly. Sengoku was also not good at attacking the Revolutionary Army, so he could only fool Luo Cheng temporarily. Then it doesn't matter, I will deal with the Revolutionary Army myself. Anyway, this revenge is not a gentleman. Luo Cheng gritted his teeth angrily, feeling very upset. Moreover, if he did not teach the Revolutionary Army a lesson, the Revolutionary Army might attack him in the future. The Revolutionary Army must be frightened. Luo Cheng turned and left the office. Garp was a little worried, and immediately followed Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng, where are you going? Garp Vice Admiral, I tell you, maybe you will tell the Revolutionary Army in turn, do you think I can tell you? Luo Cheng smiled. Garp was embarrassed. Don't be in such a hurry, why don't I go to the Revolutionary Army to discuss it so that he won't target you in the future? Oh, Garp Vice Admiral, you really have something to do with the people of the Revolutionary Army. I should be more careful, lest one day I accidentally be sold by you. Luo Cheng said meaningfully. Garp was even more embarrassed, he didn't know what to say, at most he could only watch Luo Cheng leave. Don't worry, Garp Vice Admiral, I'll keep Monkey D alive and not kill him. Luo Cheng laughed, turned and ran. Luo Cheng, thank you very much, remember to save that stinky boy's life. Garp is very happy, as long as the Monkey D dragon has nothing to do, as for the rest of the Revolutionary Army, he has nothing to do with him. But for a moment, Garp suddenly reacted. Wait, spare that stinky boy's life. What do you mean by that? Are you saying I'm a dog? Damn stinky boy, don't run for me, some kind of come over to me now. Actually say I'm a dog, stay for me. Garp was chasing after him, but unfortunately Luo Cheng had already run away, and he had run far away. After leaving Sengoku's office, Luo Cheng returned to his residence, thinking in his heart whether to attack the Revolutionary Army. He knew where the base camp of the Revolutionary Army was, but he went there alone, and the manpower seemed to be insufficient. After all, the entire Revolutionary Army is still quite strong. However, if there is no Monkey D. Dragon and no other cadres, then the entire Revolutionary Army will not be his opponent. There is a light in Luo Cheng's eyes. He decided that when Monkey D. Long was at the base camp, he would personally lead people out to fight for a one-hit kill for the Revolutionary Army. Even if you don't destroy the Revolutionary Army, it's best to hit the Revolutionary Army and get some rewards along the way. Luo Cheng's eyes revealed a brilliance. At the same time, in a certain corner of the world, the Monkey D. Dragon suddenly shuddered, and there was an uneasy feeling in his heart. There was even a chill in the body, and I always felt that something was wrong, but I couldn't think of it for a while. Long. What's the matter with you? It doesn't look good. Ivankov was curious beside him. It's nothing major, it's just that the weather is a little cold. The Monkey D. Dragon shook his head and said nothing. However, the expressions of the people nearby were a little strange. The weather is cold, why don't they feel it? Monkey dragons don't talk, and they don't ask much. Poorly they didn't know. Luo Cheng already knew their base camp and even decided to attack them. If he knew, he probably wouldn't be so calm. On the other hand, Luo Cheng only knew the general location of the Revolutionary Army, and determined that the Revolutionary Army was not in the New World, so he set off quietly and alone. He decided to raid the Revolutionary stronghold alone. It is better to be able to catch everyone in the Revolutionary Army. Not long after Luo Cheng left, Garp noticed it and was a little worried. He was afraid that something would happen to the Monkey D. Dragon. It's just that in a short period of time, he couldn't contact the Monkey D. Dragon, and he felt a little helpless, unable to intervene in this matter. He could only watch Luo Cheng leave and pray in his heart. New World, Baldigo. Luo Cheng stood not far from the base camp of the Revolutionary Army, with a smile on the corner of his mouth. This is the base camp of the revolution, and it took him a long time to finally come here. The Revolutionary Army actually dared to do something to him and didn't teach the Revolutionary Army a hard lesson, and he felt quite unhappy inside and always felt a little depressed. At this moment, the Revolutionary Army has not found Luo Cheng, and is still doing its own thing. In a certain square, the Revolutionary Army is still training new recruits. Finally it's my turn. Luo Cheng jumped, landed on Baldigo's land, and walked forward quickly. Before long, Luo Cheng saw a lot of buildings. These are all buildings of the Revolutionary Army. Luo Cheng was very excited when he saw these buildings, and even cheered a little. Finally got to this step. Swoosh swish. Luo Cheng suddenly accelerated, came not far from the Revolutionary Army, and approached silently. None of the guarded soldiers of the Revolutionary Army could find Luo Cheng. Until Luo Cheng approached, they were still watching pitifully. Next, it's my turn to do it. Luo Cheng opened his hand, and a very strong storm suddenly appeared in the sky, and it kept whistling. The sky, which was originally very clear and sunny, turned gloomy in an instant, as if a heavy rainstorm was about to happen. In the square, a group of cadres of the Revolutionary Army were training new recruits when they suddenly noticed the storm and couldn't help laughing. It looks like the leader has returned. Yeah, he's finally back. Only one of them, his face changed instantly, because if he remembered correctly, the Monkey D. Dragon couldn't have come back so early. It was still on the Grand Line yesterday, so how could it have come to the base camp today? No, everyone be careful. Unfortunately, before he could finish speaking, Luo Cheng waved his hand gently, and the storm suddenly became more manic, directly smashing the house. Rumbling. The entire house was smashed, and a large number of brick and tile fragments flew into the sky, filled with smoke and dust, and the sky was obscured. Before many people could react, they were blown away by the big storm and hit the ground hard. Even those cadres couldn't bear it, spit out a mouthful of blood, and then fell heavily on the ground again, and rolled on the ground. No, it's not the leader, it should be Marine. The expression of one of the cadres changed instantly. The only one with such strength and the same ability as the Monkey D. Dragon is Luo Cheng in Marine. A few months ago, they just attacked Luo Cheng, and now Luo Cheng has appeared in the Revolutionary Army base camp, definitely wanting to take revenge on them. But they have nothing to do. The expressions of the other Revolutionary Army cadres also changed. Marine actually came. It's not unacceptable if it's just one, but if Marine's army comes, it's all over. Everyone retreat quickly, and in addition, notify the leaders and let them pay attention. Rumbling, there was another loud noise, and Luo Cheng broke the wall. Luo Cheng walked in openly and approached slowly, with a murderous look in his eyes. Hello everyone, in order to repay you, I will come here in person this time. A group of cadres looked at Luo Cheng. When they saw Luo Cheng alone, everyone present breathed a sigh of relief. If the Marine base camp is here, it's all over, but if it's just one, they don't need to be afraid. You go and arrange for people to retreat first, it has already been exposed here. As for Luo Cheng, then leave it to me. One of the mermaid cadres took a step forward with determination in his eyes. He knew that he was not Luo Cheng's opponent, but at this time, someone had to stand up. As a cadre, he naturally did his part. Me and you together. In the distance, a figure suddenly jumped over. This woman is naturally Bello Beatty, one of the 4 commanders of the Revolutionary Army. He was also the one who besieged Luo Cheng with Monkey D long last time. He was a hot body but a little exposed with the army commander. Luo Cheng smiled when he saw Bello Betty. Beauty, I didn't expect to meet you here. This should be the fate between us. Maybe the two of us can be together and get married. Luo Cheng, of course, liked Bello Betty, a pretty girl with a particularly beautiful figure, and even had a small idea in his heart. Bah. I will never be with you, an evil person like you is not qualified to live at all. Bello Betty spat lightly, displeased with Luo Cheng, a corrupt person. Deep down, Bello Betty was still wary. After all, this is the person who is facing the odd dragon, who has the cadre Ivankov, but who does not fall behind, the world's top powerhouse. She wasn't sure enough. Luo Cheng smiled, didn't care too much, just picked up his sleeves, and then waved his arms again, ready to start at any time. Since you want to have a fight, let's have a good time with you, but if the Monkey D dragon is not around, it's not enough just for you. Don't underestimate us, we are also very good. The merman cadre immediately rushed in front of Luo Cheng, raised his hand, and it was a murloc karate. Storm. Luo Cheng opened his hand, grabbed it hard, caught the mermaid cadre, and threw it out. Along with the strong storm, the merman cadre set off a huge airflow, and hovered constantly, and quickly flew into the sky. Stop for me. Bello Beatty picked up his weapon, jumped to Luo Cheng's side, and hit Luo Cheng with a stick, but Luo Cheng grabbed him before he could hit it. Luo Cheng squeezed hard, squeezing the weapon in Bello Betty's hand, and then pulling it again, snatching Bello Betty's weapon. Really, your strength is too poor. Bello Beatty kicked up. But before he could kick Luo Cheng grabbed him and squeezed it tightly in the palm of his hand. Luo Cheng grabbed Bello Betty's foot, pulled it gently to his side, and took a sniff. It's really good, I didn't expect you to be so delicious, fresh and tangy, I like a big beauty like you. Lecher. Bello Betty blushed slightly, and couldn't help giving Luo Cheng a look. You're right, I'm a disciple. Luo Cheng doesn't care what other people think. On a certain sea area, the ships of the Revolutionary Army were sailing mightily. Suddenly, a member of the Revolutionary Army walked out of the cabin in a hurry, with panic in his eyes, and his face looked pale. Boss, something is bad. The Monkey D dragon frowned. Don't panic, there is nothing, it can be hard to live with us, no matter what trouble, I can easily handle it. The chief, Marine Vice Admiral Luo Cheng broke into the base camp. Many cadres were not the opponents of Luo Cheng. Now those cadres are starting to retreat. What? Luo Cheng broke into the base camp. How is this possible? How could Luo Cheng know where the base camp is? The Monkey D dragon was also a little panicked. As for calm, it's already this time, let's calm down. The dragon, now is not the time to discuss these things. I'd better go back immediately. I'm afraid those people are not Luo Cheng's opponents. Ivankov was also a little flustered. He and Monkey D Long were 2 people, and only then did they reluctantly suppress Luo Cheng. At present, the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army has less combat power and cannot suppress Luo Cheng at all. The Monkey D dragon also reacted. Yes, leave now and go back immediately. Just as the Revolutionary Army was rushing back, a war broke out in Baldigo, and the fighting between the two sides was particularly fierce. Rumbling. The merman cadre suddenly approached from behind. However, before it touched Luo Cheng, a hurricane broke out on Luo Cheng, directly involving the merman cadre. The storm roared, tore at the body of the mermaid cadre, and then kept hitting the ground, causing the mermaid cadre to feel dizzy. Several other cadres were hit and vomited blood. Damn, is this Luo Cheng's strength? How could it be so pervert? Bello Beatty's face was ashen. Although I knew Luo Cheng was strong, I didn't expect Luo Cheng to be so pervert. With so many cadres, not only could they not help Luo Cheng, but they were even beaten by Luo Cheng. You can see Luo Cheng's strength. She seemed to understand the pressure in the Monkey D. Dragon's heart during the last war. Luo Cheng grabbed the head of one of them, then pressed it hard on the ground, smashing the ground into a big hole. This man's tooth was also broken by Luo Cheng. Let go of me. Another person jumped over from one side, leapt in the air, and kicked Luo Cheng. Unfortunately, before getting close to Luo Cheng, he was easily avoided by Luo Cheng. Very relaxed, Luo Cheng is not nervous. There is no need to be nervous at all to deal with these little ones. After dodging, Luo Cheng turned around again, grabbed the Revolutionary Army who had been beaten to the ground by himself, and threw it out. The two collided and flew out. Damn, how can Luo Cheng be so powerful? It's obviously just a young man. The faces of the other revolutionary troops were a little ugly, and their hearts were even more uneasy. Because Luo Cheng is too powerful. From the battle to the present, so many people have dealt with Luo Cheng together, but Luo Cheng has suppressed him, which is completely pervert. Bello Betty was also very nervous and a little scared in her heart. Rumbling there were several loud bangs, and Luo Cheng knocked down the cadres of the Revolutionary Army to the ground, and many people could not get up. It seems that your strength is not enough, and I have no time, so I won't waste it with you. Luo Cheng waved his hand, and a huge storm suddenly appeared, affecting most of the island. The members of the Revolutionary Army who had not had time to escape in the distance were directly swept up by the great storm and flew towards Luo Cheng. Many people screamed in agony. Several cadres of the Revolutionary Army looked at the members who flew back, and their faces became particularly ugly. They fought against Luo Cheng, hoping to hold Luo Cheng so that the others could retreat successfully. As a result, those people were brought back by Luo Cheng. The battle can be over. Luo Cheng sneered, and a huge storm broke out. Then there was a roar, the storm broke out, and all the Revolutionary Army cadres were involved and suppressed by the storm. After a long time, the island gradually calmed down. Luo Cheng stood on a huge rock and twitched his fingers lightly, and all the ruins flew to one side. Inside the ruins, there were many people from the Revolutionary Army. There are hundreds of people, and most of them are cadres of the Revolutionary Army. It can be said that Luo Cheng took it all in one pot. If there are a few more commanders, or the Monkey D. Dragon and the Tyrant Bear are here, Luo Cheng won't be able to solve it so easily, at most they will be defeated here. The battle can be over, then, it's time for me to rest. Luo Cheng picked up the rope that had been prepared, sea-stone handcuffs, and handcuffed all these people. Even in order to take down these people, Luo Cheng deliberately hollowed out the sea-stone handcuffs of a base. After taking these people, Luo Cheng occupied another ship of the Revolutionary Army, took these people, and left the Revolutionary Army base camp. Not long after Luo Cheng left, the Monkey D. Dragon came with his people. It's just that when he arrived, Monkey D. Long saw the Revolutionary Army base camp that had been completely destroyed, and his face was ugly. The entire base camp was destroyed, and a large number of people did not escape, and there were no corpses here, and 9 out of 10 were arrested. With so many people arrested, if they don't rescue them, how will they lead the Revolutionary Army in the future? Ivankov's expression wasn't too good either. The rest of the nearby Revolutionary Army cadres were silent. Should they save their comrades? Long, what should we do now? Ivankov asked a little unwillingly, so sad. So many companions were caught. Monkey Dragon's heart is also very irritable, can't think of a way for a while, and he doesn't know what to do. Don't worry about it so much, go investigate and see where those people have been caught, and then implement the rescue plan. Although the Monkey D. Dragon was in a hurry, he was not panicked. He knew the current situation and had to be calmer. The more panicked, the more dangerous it would be. Okay, I'll make arrangements so that people can investigate clearly. It's better to know what happened and where those people were detained. Ivankov also knew that it was useless to worry, not to panic, and not to be too careless. Also, we can't stay here any longer, we must retreat as soon as possible, maybe Marines people will come over. Soon, the Revolutionary Army quickly retreated. There was no one in the entire base camp, but what they didn't know was that Luo Cheng had no intention of speaking out at all. On the boundless sea, Luo Cheng controlled the boat by himself, and there were members of the Revolutionary Army everywhere on the deck. It's just that it has been captured by Luo Cheng now. Right next to Luo Cheng, Bello Betty's face was ashen. The base camp of their Revolutionary Army was destroyed just like that, and all of them were arrested by Luo Cheng. Especially seeing Luo Cheng's proud appearance, Bello Betty became even more angry. gnashing his teeth, wishing to kill Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng naturally noticed Bello Betty's expression. His sentence was very indifferent, and he couldn't help but glance at Bello Betty. This body is really good. Especially Bello Betty she. Alas, as the commander of the Eastern Army of the Revolutionary Army, Bello Betty actually carried a ball with him, probably because he wanted to play basketball with others. Not to mention, when it comes to basketball, Luo Cheng will think of certain people, those people are his idols, and he also likes to play basketball. Bello Betty noticed Luo Cheng's expression, his face darkened instantly, and he couldn't help but take a step back. You. What do you want to do? I tell you, you must not mess around. If you dare to mess around, don't blame me for being rude. Luo Cheng smiled even brighter. What do you want to be polite? We can have a good talk. As a person, I like playing basketball the most. Bello Betty was stunned for a moment, but quickly reacted, her face was flushed, and she couldn't help giving Luo Cheng a roll of eyes. I will never play basketball with you. Others nearby were also particularly angry, feeling that their idols were being humiliated. Damn, there is a kind of let go of Lord Betty and come at me. That's right, let me go, Lord Betty. The Revolutionary Army crowd on the deck was surging. Luo Cheng was very calm, not worried at all, but there was contempt in his eyes. Please, see what you look like, all of them are weird, I will be interested in you. Everyone's faces turned black. They feel they are being humiliated. Although they are not as handsome as Luo Cheng, it seems a bit too much to describe them as odd shapes. They don't look odd either. Well, at least most people are not. HMPH, don't be complacent. Even if you catch us today, one day, the Revolutionary Army will defeat you, and then it will be your death. Bello Betty gritted his teeth and made no compromises. Luo Cheng was a little unhappy in his heart, and just stared at Bello Betty with a sullen look in his eyes. Since he's so arrogant, don't blame him for being rude. The last time he dared to point at his nose and yell at him was Bel Ma Diaresis Re. But Bel Ma Diaresis Re also paid a heavy price. The whole person was taken down by Luo Cheng and ate it over and over again. Now Bello Betty is so arrogant, he can only win. Bello Betty noticed Luo Cheng's expression, suddenly became a little nervous, and moved a step back subconsciously. You. What do you want to do? The other Revolutionary Army soldiers stepped forward immediately. Stop for me, as long as I'm here, you don't want to do anything to Lord Betty. Yes, we will definitely protect Lord Betty. Luo Cheng sighed. Look at you, just a group of licking dogs, I really thought Betty would like you, the person he likes is me. Lick the dog. Everyone's faces turned black. They said they were licking dogs. Although I don't know what it means to lick a dog, it definitely insults them. Too nasty, too presumptuous. Bello Betty next to him also looked particularly ugly. What? Are you unconvinced? Let me tell you, in a while, I'll be playing games with Bello Betty, playing basketball, and you can watch by the side. Luo Cheng mocked him recklessly. The revolutionary soldiers were very angry, and their eyes were full of murderous intent. But they have nothing to do. Bello Betty was also a little scared. Don't look at him being arrogant. But I was afraid that Luo Cheng would do something. For example, the kind of game Luo Cheng said. Luo Cheng walked to Bello Betty's side, carried Bello Betty up, and was about to walk into the cabin. He really didn't plan to do anything in front of these people. Bello Betty's face changed instantly, struggling constantly. Don't mess around. Even if you get my people, don't even think about getting my heart. Nonsense. Why do I want your heart? I don't like to eat fried hearts, all I want is your people. Luo Cheng stepped into the boat. Damn, hurry up and let me go, Lord Betty. That's right, just come at me and bully a woman. Luo Cheng completely ignored the words of these men. If you don't bully girls, it's hard to bully boys. His psyche has not changed. After more than an hour, Luo Cheng tidied up his collar a little, then looked at Bello Betty who was angry next to him with a smile on his face. Bello Betty is a soldier of the Revolutionary Army. Even if such a thing happens, he is not desperate, at most is very angry. Also, there was murder in his eyes, as if he really wanted to kill Luo Cheng. It's a pity that Bello Betty's strength is a little worse. Don't worry, for your sake, I can release these people from the Revolutionary Army. Luo Cheng himself did not intend to completely turn against the Revolutionary Army. Only if the Revolutionary Army was alive could he be able to grasp many of the Revolutionary Army's arguments. If the Revolutionary Army dies, it will be a complete turnaround, and maybe they will be hunted down by the Revolutionary Army in the future. Might as well use the Revolutionary Army to get some rewards. Bello Betty was touched and looked excited. Is what you said true? You are really willing to let go of the Revolutionary Army? Although Luo Cheng took advantage, but if she could replace the revolutionary army, she could sacrifice herself. Luo Cheng's eyes lit up. It seems that not only the revolutionary army can be extorted, but also Belo Beatty can be extorted. Is there such a happy thing in this world? Yes, I can let them go, but you need to behave well. If I am happy, I will definitely let them go. Luo Cheng smiled. Belo Beatty gritted her teeth. She understood what Luo Cheng meant, although she was a little unwilling, but for the sake of her companions, she could only dedicate herself. Just for the revolutionary army. Belo Beatty stood on tiptoe, put both hands on Luo Cheng's shoulders, and got close together. Luo Cheng is happy to accept all this. On the deck, the people of the revolutionary army heard Belo Beatty's voice, and their hearts were filled with endless anger. This is the person they like, and they didn't expect to be with Luo Cheng, and they seemed to be very happy. Especially the voice of Belo Beatty. I always felt that it was not forced. No matter how I heard it, I felt that Belo Beatty agreed. After a long time, Luo Cheng walked out of the room and looked at everyone present with a smug smile on his face. Everyone, I am very happy today. Everyone looked at Luo Cheng with murderous eyes. Luo Cheng was very calm and didn't care at all. Anyway, he didn't take these people in his eyes, he could just be happy. After a while, Belo Beatty also came out of it, a little embarrassed to face the crowd. But remembering Luo Cheng's promise to her, Belo Beatty couldn't care less and asked directly. Luo Cheng, you just promise me, as long as I promise you, you will let these people go. People in the revolutionary army were particularly moved. It turned out that Belo Beatty was all for them, and they thought Belo Beatty had completely surrendered to Luo Cheng. No problem, I'll let them go, but before that, I need to blackmail Monkey D. Of course Luo Cheng couldn't just let it go. After all, Monkey D dragons are useful. But Belo Beatty was angry, thinking that Luo Cheng had deceived her, and her eyes were full of endless anger. How dare you lie to me? I'm sorry, I really didn't lie to you, but whoever asked the Monkey D dragon to trouble me, I can only trouble him. Luo Cheng ignored Belo Beatty's angry expression. It's impossible to give up everything because of Belo Beatty. The revolutionary army was so rich that they could not give up. Belo Beatty was very angry, but there was nothing he could do. In the end, he could only stare at him, as if he wanted to kill Luo Cheng. On the other hand, the revolutionary army has been investigating the whereabouts of Belo Beatty and others, and was quickly contacted by Luo Cheng. When the phone was connected, Monkey D Dragon was very angry. Luo Cheng, where are you now? Facing the angry Monkey D Dragon, Luo Cheng was very calm and did not panic at all. I'm so sorry, if you want to save these people, you have to pay some price. What the hell do you want? The Monkey D Dragon's tone was a little gloomy. It's very simple, give me 1 billion Baileys, and other requests, we can meet and talk. I understand. The Monkey D Dragon hung up the phone angrily. Ivankov next to him was a little stunned and didn't react for a while. Long. Why did you hang up? Nothing, I was just too pissed off so I hung up. Monkey Dragon said angrily. Ivankov couldn't help but sigh. You just hung up the phone. We don't know where Luo Cheng is, how can we investigate? The Monkey D Dragon's face stiffened. It seems to be true, he doesn't know where Luo Cheng is and how to find Luo Cheng. Ruined. Will Luo Cheng be found by then? After a few days, Luo Cheng finally got in touch with the Monkey D Dragon, and the Monkey D Dragon was about to cry. I thought I might contact Luo Cheng in the future. After the two parties agreed on the location, they prepared their own. Monkey Dragon set off alone. She was a little worried at first, but thought about it carefully. If Luo Cheng really intends to do something to them, he will definitely bring the world government and marine, and they will be finished by then. But today Luo Cheng didn't do it, and the last time Luo Cheng took the initiative to leave the world government, it shows that Luo Cheng is not a good person. Just like that, we soon arrived at the appointed place. Luo Cheng stood on the warship and waited patiently. After a long time, he finally saw the ships of the revolutionary army. After a careful look, only Monkey D Long came over from the revolutionary army, and there was no one else, so he didn't worry. Monkey Dragon immediately jumped in front of Luo Cheng and glanced around. The revolutionary army was all here, and there was no one else. What else do you want to say? It's nothing, just from now on, you will give me 500 million Bailey every year. If you don't give it, I will tell everything about the revolutionary army. Luo Cheng told everything he knew about the revolutionary army, including about the tyrant Shang. The Monkey D Dragon was pale. The biggest advantage of their revolutionary army is that they are underground, and the world government doesn't know it. If all these are exposed, their revolutionary army will be finished, and they will definitely be chased and killed by the world government, just like the 4 emperors. However, the 4 emperors are currently the world government, and they are the banner of the world government. Originally, the Monkey D. Dragon was going to fool Luo Cheng casually, save people first, and then change the base to see what Luo Cheng can do. But he didn't expect Luo Cheng to know so much. I understand. I agree to your request. The Monkey D. Dragon finally compromised. Luo Cheng smiled even brighter and turned to look at Bello Betty next to him. Very well. From now on, you can go back. To be honest, Luo Cheng is still very reluctant to bear Bello Betty. During this time, he was in a gentle village, and he was unable to extricate himself. It's a pity that Bello Betty is still the Revolutionary Army in the end. It is impossible for him to be with the Revolutionary Army. It is too dangerous. At present, he has no plans to turn against the world government. Anyway, Marine still has Guillaume and Ain. When there is a chance, he will eat these 2 people. The beauties of the One Piece world cannot let go of any of them. Bello Betty also noticed Luo Cheng's eyes and couldn't help turning her head shyly. Monkey Long glanced at the 2 of them, and always felt that they were strange, and even suspected Bello Betty. But at the thought of Bello Betty's contributions over the years, Monkey D. Dragon instantly gave up his doubts. However, he noticed that Bello Betty's dress was a little weird, and it seemed to be a lot more conservative than before. This is of course Luo Cheng's request. By the way, Mr. Long, Garp Vice Admiral asked me to say hello to you, but I still have something to do, so I will leave first, and I will meet again when I have a chance. Luo Cheng jumped and flew to another boat. At the moment of jumping over again, it gave the Monkey D. Dragon a storm and crashed into the warship at the foot of the Monkey D. Dragon. The Monkey D. Dragon had to give up the hunt for Luo Cheng. It is still important to protect your subordinates. Damn Luo Cheng, he really isn't a good person. The Monkey D. Dragon gritted his teeth and wanted to kill Luo Cheng. After Luo Cheng left, he also knew that Bello Betty had to sacrifice his body in order to protect others. It made him feel very guilty. That's all. Luo Cheng had already obtained Bello Betty's body, yet he still wanted to blackmail him. With so many Baileys a year, how much ammunition and food can be bought? It's too nasty, I must kill Luo Cheng. Monkey Long thought so, but in no hurry, he started to Luo Cheng. It is not yet certain to take action against Luo Cheng. Bello Betty next to her was also very disappointed. She suddenly missed Luo Cheng and felt that Luo Cheng was excellent. Really want to do it again with Luo Cheng. Wait, what are you thinking? Bello Betty suddenly reacted. She actually thought blindly, that was the life and death enemy of their revolutionary army. A week later, Luo Cheng returned to Marine Base. Inside the base, Garp is here, and Zephyr is here too. After all, New World is too dangerous. A Marine base is often stationed by many people. So don't look at some people who are the base chief, but sometimes the rights are really not very big. When Luo Cheng came back, he happened to see Garp. Garp walked to Luo Cheng's side and patted Luo Cheng's shoulder lightly. Luo Cheng, where have you been during this time? Why haven't I seen you? Oh, I went out for a walk, to pass the time, and happened to meet the Revolutionary Army. Luo Cheng said with a smile. Garp shuddered at this look. When Garp heard the Revolutionary Army, he was very worried. Isn't there a conflict between the 2 of you? He was afraid that Luo Cheng would fight with Monkey D. Long. One is Marine and the other is his son. Yes, we did have a fight, but only a little bit, no big deal. Luo Cheng didn't say much. There are some things that you can just know. Garp breathed a sigh of relief, really afraid that the 2 of them would fight. It would be fine. Luo Cheng patted Garp, turned and left. Just after returning to his residence, before Luo Cheng could go in, Guillaume came over from a distance. Luo Cheng Vice Admiral. Luo Cheng looked at Guillaume, who seemed to be a little shy, and raised his mouth slightly. Not long ago, I just won Bello Betty, and I was planning to attack Guillaume and Ain, but Guillaume actually took the initiative to send it to the door. The beauty took the initiative to throw her arms in her arms, and naturally she could not refuse. You're here, come in quickly and sit down. Luo Cheng pushed open the door, and Guillaume followed behind. Hurry up and sit down. Guillaume did not refuse. Although he was very shy, he still found a place to sit down, but was a little embarrassed to face Luo Cheng. He kept his head down the whole time, very shy. There was even a blush on her cheeks, which was so cute that people couldn't help but look at it more. Luo Cheng has a firmer idea in his heart. He will take down Guillaume today and live a happy life. Guillaume, do you have anything to do with me? Guillaume raised his head slowly, and when he saw Luo Cheng's tender eyes, Guillaume lowered his head shyly, embarrassed to face it. Brother Luo Cheng, do you have a girlfriend? What? Do you want to be my girlfriend? Luo Cheng smiled. Guillaume's heart beat faster, and he was very nervous, recalling Luo Cheng's words just now in his mind. Do you want to be my girlfriend? She wanted to promise Luo Cheng now, but she restrained herself at the critical moment. A little shy and embarrassed to say it. Guillaume's mind stormed for a moment, then raised his head and looked at Luo Cheng nervously. Brother Luo Cheng, if you want, I would like to be your girlfriend. After saying this, Guillaume's face was extremely red, and he was embarrassed to look at Luo Cheng, and his two hands tightly grasped his pants. Guillaume was very nervous and was afraid that Luo Cheng would refuse. She really liked Luo Cheng in her heart. Luo Cheng looked at Guillaume in front of him. Without hesitation, he slowly stretched out a hand and put Guillaume's hand in his own. Be my girlfriend if you want. Guillaume was particularly happy, and stood up excitedly, with joy in his eyes. I'm willing, big brother, to be your friend. Luo Cheng grabbed Guillaume's hand lightly and stepped back towards the side of the bed. Although Guillaume was shy, he did not refuse. Stay with me tonight. Luo Cheng looked at Guillaume affectionately. Guillaume nodded slowly, but did not reject Luo Cheng. She can't wait to be with Luo Cheng too. Just when Luo Cheng was about to do something, there was a knock on the door. Guillaume was very nervous, and immediately pushed Luo Cheng away, then turned his head shyly. Someone is coming. Luo Cheng walked to the door, then opened the door and saw Ain standing outside. Seeing Luo Cheng, Ain was also shy, turned around and faced Luo Cheng sideways. Ian, what's the matter with you? Luo Cheng is still quite emotional about his peach blossom luck. As soon as I came back, 2 peach blossoms came to my door. He decided to accept these 2 people. Ain was very shy, but he still mustered up his courage, raised his head, and looked at Luo Cheng silently with both eyes. Luo Cheng, I like you very much, would you like to be my boyfriend? Compared with Guillaume, Ain was very daring and confessed directly to Luo Cheng. She was also a little nervous, afraid that Luo Cheng would be taken away by others, so she mustered up her courage. In the room, Guillaume was also very nervous. She didn't expect Luo Cheng to be so popular that a girl would take the initiative to confess. Guillaume didn't stop her, she actually wanted to know who Luo Cheng liked more, her or Ain. Luo Cheng was a little helpless. At present, Guillaume is in the room, and Ain is waiting outside for his answer. If he refuses, it seems a little inappropriate. He didn't want to break anyone's heart. Sure enough, Poseidon is not easy to play. It's not that easy to be a scumbag. Ain thought he was rejected and was a little sad. I understand. I know brother Luo Cheng's choice, goodbye. Heartbroken, Ain turned and ran. Guillaume didn't know what was wrong, and was not as happy as he thought, and even felt a little lost. If she was rejected by Luo Cheng, she would be heartbroken, and she might even commit suicide. No, this has to be stopped. Don't hurry to chase, what are you thinking about? Guillaume decided to share it with Ain. After all, there are always many women who are good people. Don't hurry to chase. Guillaume's words woke Luo Cheng instantly. He didn't expect that Guillaume was so generous, and he actually let him go after him. Then there was nothing he could do, he could only try harder. I'll go right now. Luo Cheng immediately chased after him, quickly grabbed Ain, and pulled Ain into his arms. Ain was very sad at first, but when he felt Luo Cheng's warmth, his heart was suddenly filled with warmth, and he held Luo Cheng tightly. Brother Luo Cheng, I really like you. Luo Cheng didn't refuse, grabbed Ain tightly, pulled him into his arms, and took 2 bites. From now on, you are mine. Ain was especially grateful and also responded to Luo Cheng. The 2 hugged each other for a while, and finally had to give up. By the way, Ain, Guillaume was in my room just now. Luo Cheng said suddenly. Ain was a little nervous when he heard Guillaume, because she is very clear that Guillaume also likes Luo Cheng, so she always regards Guillaume as her rival in love. Unexpectedly, Guillaume was in the room just now. Ain was a little nervous. Luo Cheng put his hand on Ain's head and lightly rubbed it twice. Ain, I know I'm very concerned, but I want to say that you are my person, and Guillaume is also my person, I just don't know if you will be angry. Ain was really angry. But she didn't want to give up Luo Cheng, so after struggling for a while, Ain reluctantly grabbed Luo Cheng tightly. Luo Cheng, what I like is you, no matter what, I want to be with you. Okay, we'll go back now. Luo Cheng pulled Ain and quickly returned to the room. Guillaume was waiting in the room, and when they saw Luo Cheng in front of him, everyone was nervous. Especially when both Guillaume and Ain were there at the same time. Okay, it's getting late, let's go back. The next morning, Luo Cheng woke up refreshed, cleaned up a little, and sat down at the table. I'm hungry, it seems like it's time to eat. Luo Cheng touched his stomach lightly. It was already so bright, and he hadn't had breakfast yet, and his stomach had already started to rebel. Ain, Guillaume, it's getting late, get up quickly, and then go to eat, you are hungry too. Ain and Guillaume were busy for a while, and soon changed their clothes. After a while, Luo Cheng went out first, followed by Guillaume, and the two went out together. In the villa next door, Garp just got up and was about to find Luo Cheng for dinner, when he saw the two people walking out together, completely dumbfounded. How could these two come out together? And it came out of the same room. Could it be that these two? Garp instantly thought of multiple possibilities. Unexpectedly, Luo Cheng is quite capable, and after a period of absence, he has already got the sister of Crane Vice Admiral. And it seems to have been cut first and then played. Luo Cheng, you are really amazing, so fast. Before Garp finished speaking, he was completely stunned. Because Ain also came out from behind, and looked strange, especially the way he was walking. All of a sudden, Garp was completely stunned. What is the relationship between these people? Why are both Guillaume and Ain in Luo Cheng's room, and it seems that they may have already established a relationship with Luo Cheng. Is Luo Cheng so good? At this moment, several more people came over from the villa area next door. Crane Vice Admiral, Zephyr. The two were stunned when they saw this. What happened and why are Guillaume and Ain in Luo Cheng's room? What the hell happened last night? Crane Vice Admiral was the first to react and immediately rushed in front of Luo Cheng, his eyes full of anger. Luo Cheng, what happened to you last night? Why is Guillaume in your room? Luo Cheng sensed murderous intent from Crane Vice Admiral's eyes. No wonder though, Vice Admiral Suru must have thought he had done something to Guillaume, so he was particularly angry. Zephyr also reacted. Ain was actually here, and immediately stepped forward with a fierce look in his eyes. Luo Cheng, tell me honestly, what happened last night? If it's just I here, Zephyr is acceptable. After all, he recognized Luo Cheng and Ain. But Guillaume is also here. Luo Cheng is with so many people, what else can he do? Certainly not a good thing. Ain and Guillaume were both shy and bowed their heads shyly. They didn't expect to meet so many people here. And it seems to have been discovered by so many people. Luo Cheng sighed, then stretched out his hands and pulled Ain and Guillaume tightly into his arms. Since you are all here, I won't say anything more, I will tell you directly. From now on, Guillaume and Ain are my people, we have established a relationship with each other, and we will be a family from now on. Scumbag. This is what all Marine generals think. They envied Luo Cheng, and they managed to get two people at once. Winner in life. Lots of ordinary Marines in the neighborhood are heartbroken. They also both liked Guillaume and Ain, but they didn't expect Luo Cheng to take the lead. A group of Marines looked at Luo Cheng with murderous eyes. If it weren't for Luo Cheng's high status, Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral, they might want to fight Luo Cheng one-on-one. Facing the murderous gazes of these people, Luo Cheng smiled calmly and shook his hair gently. Oh, sometimes people are too good, this is also a kind of distress, why should I be so good? Luo Cheng's tone made even Garp unhappy. Both Ain and Guillaume were quite shy, and gently pushed Luo Cheng's arm. Luo Cheng, don't talk nonsense, there are so many people here. Yeah, pay attention to your identity, you are Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral. Of course, the most important thing is that the two are too shy. I want Luo Cheng Vice Admiral a little bit. Then I'll leave it to you, and I'll definitely cheer for you. But don't let our hopes down. A group of Marines were talking. As for Luo Cheng, he enjoyed the worship of the crowd. Damn, you scumbag. Crane Vice Admiral gritted his teeth in anger. Her sister actually liked such a scumbag, and she even dedicated herself to it. Zephyr next to him didn't look very good either. Both Ain and Guillaume were shy, but they didn't refuse. They just leaned on Luo Cheng and looked very happy. Crane Vice Admiral finally sighed. Since Guillaume liked it, she didn't say much. Remember, if you dare to disappoint Guillaume, I will never let you go. Crane Vice Admiral can only slap a harsh word. Don't worry, I will never let them down, and I will definitely protect them well. Luo Cheng tapped both of their faces at the same time. Guillaume and Ain were even more shy. Luo Cheng, you are amazing. Garp said with admiration. He really admired Luo Cheng, and he managed two people at once. Hey, Garp, it's mainly because of your poor physical fitness. If you are as good as me, you can naturally find a lot of people. Luo Cheng patted Garp's shoulder and sighed a little. Garp didn't understand for a while. On the contrary, the other people next to him understood the meaning of Luo Cheng's words and couldn't help but snicker. Guillaume and Ain pinched Luo Cheng at the same time. Garp wasn't a fool either. After a while, he understood what Luo Cheng meant. Damn, stinky boy, you dare to say that to me. Believe it or not, I will teach you a lesson every minute. Ha ha ha. I still have something to do, so I'll leave first, and I'll talk about it later when I have time. Luo Cheng hugged the two and left. Along the way, many marine generals saw it and admired Luo Cheng very much. Actually got two people at once, and its marines two big beauties. Facing the admiring gazes of everyone, Luo Cheng walked with wind, his head held high, and he was complacent. It was Ain and Guillaume who were a little shy, bowing their heads all the way, embarrassed to face the crowd. In this way, Luo Cheng's life in the future was quite dull, and he was accompanied by beautiful women every day, and he lived a pretty good life. This morning, Luo Cheng lay in the middle of the two, closed his eyes and rested. Last night was another good night. After waking up in the morning, Luo Cheng didn't want to wake up. This kind of gentle township is what everyone hopes to live like this all their lives. Ding dong, the system has been successfully upgraded, please open a new system panel. Suddenly, the sound of the system entered his mind. Luo Cheng opened his eyes instantly, and a fierce cold light burst out. The gap between Ain and Guillaume was not right, and turned around at the same time, his big eyes full of curiosity. Luo Cheng, what's the matter? Nothing, you continue to rest. Luo Cheng closed his eyes again, but his attention was focused on the system. Guillaume and Ain saw that Luo Cheng didn't say anything, so they didn't say much. System, open the panel. Luo Cheng said something in his heart. A blue light appeared in my mind. Brand new system panel. Luo Cheng is curious about the upgraded system, but after a careful look, nothing has changed. System. This is the brand new system panel you're talking about. There's no change at all, are you kidding me? Ding dong. A brand new system, there is a chance to draw a lottery every year, and it has not changed. But the exchange attribute has changed. You can continue to use attribute points to add points in the early stage, but when you reach the limit, you can use wealth value to strengthen. 10 billion Bailey can be exchanged for a point of wealth value. A point of wealth can be strengthened once, which can strengthen any attribute of the host, and can also strengthen any item. Luo Cheng understood. The lottery feature has not changed. Attribute points still exist, but attribute points can only be counted as early stage currency, and later stage currency becomes wealth points, and wealth points are used to continue strengthening. The current full-level physique can be strengthened with wealth points. It seems that he has hidden so much money, and it will eventually be useful. Luo Cheng thought carefully in his mind. Robbed the entire North Blue and blackmailed the Revolutionary Army. The total is about 5 billion Baileys, which is still far from 10 billion Baileys, not to mention the exchange of wealth points. Looks like it's going to take some effort, but who should rob? Kaido or Whitebeard, Redhead or Big Mom? Luo Cheng has already started to think about who to rob. The Revolutionary Army has robbed those kingdoms. I'm really sorry, without Sengoku's permission, it is inconvenient for him to return to the Grand Line. That can only rob the 4 emperors. Although the 4 emperors' pirates were quite powerful, Luo Cheng had no choice but to bite the bullet. Poor 4 emperors, about to face Luo Cheng's robbery. But before that, Ain and Guillaume, who were close to Luo Cheng, were ready to take a good rest. Let's talk about the robbery later. After resting like this for a long time, Luo Cheng reluctantly got up from the gentle village. Because both Ain and Guillaume are up, there is no gentle town anymore. Beside, Ain and Guillaume are brushing their teeth and washing their faces. By the way, Luo Cheng, after a while, Garp will go out to catch pirates, will you go? Would you like the 2 of us to follow you? No, you rest here, or you can go back to naval headquarters, it's not safe here. Luo Cheng rejected the 2's proposal. Because he is going to rob the 4 emperors soon, he still doesn't know who to rob, but it doesn't matter, there is always a need to rob. Drive Ain and Guillaume away first, lest there be any danger that will hinder his robbery. I understand. Neither of them said anything. They are very aware of their current strength. In the whole new world, they are nothing at all. Following Luo Cheng will only hinder Luo Cheng. Then you must be careful, we will be waiting for you at naval headquarters. Ain stood in front of Luo Cheng and took the initiative to help Luo Cheng tidy up his collar. Guillaume, holding the cloak of justice in his hand, stood beside Luo Cheng. The 2 are very like a good wife and a good mother. Luo Cheng grabbed the shoulders of the 2 of them, took a bite of them, put on his coat, and left. By the way, you are leaving naval headquarters today. I remember Crane Vice Admiral and the others also went back, and you followed behind. Understood. The 2 looked at the back of Luo Cheng leaving, and felt very reluctant. After Luo Cheng left home, he quickly came to the office, and then he rode alone on a warship and set off in a mighty manner. This time he didn't bring any marine. After all, he was going to rob, and the 4 emperors would definitely go crazy. It was easy for him to escape by himself, and maybe there was a marine. On the sea, a warship sailed alone. There was only one person sitting on the warship, Luo Cheng. Other than that, there was not a single marine. Even the meal is handled by Luo Cheng himself. In order to be able to cook a good meal, Luo Cheng specially added some points to his cooking skills. Fortunately, cooking doesn't require too many attribute points, otherwise Luo Cheng might be reluctant. Luo Cheng also did not strengthen to the full level, that is, 10th level, which is equivalent to the full level. Because it is too cheap, if he does not strengthen to the full level, he is a little sorry for himself. While the warships were wandering, several pirate ships were sailing fast on the sea not far away. The flag of the Whitebeard pirates hangs on the bow. There were many people standing on the deck, cheering, and standing in the middle was Bista, the leader of the Whitebeard pirates. He is also a famous swordsman in the New World. The ships of both sides soon met. Captain Vista, find Marine ahead. Marine, keep me on guard. Bista became vigilant and immediately took out his weapon. He wasn't the idiot of Jack. He acted when he saw Marine, and he knew very well that those who could mix in New World were not ordinary Marines. Captain Vista, don't worry, there is no one on it, it should be an empty warship, which may have just been attacked. A group of pirates breathed a sigh of relief. Only Bista had a serious expression. Don't be careful, the ships on the opposite side have no trace of battle at all, and they must not have been battled. Bista slowly drew out the sword in his hand. On the deck, Luo Cheng also saw Bista, with a gleam in his eyes.
The Whitebeard pirates, then there is no way, if you are unlucky, then you will be robbed.
Luo Cheng has been hesitating about who to rob. I didn't expect that the Whitebeard pirates would take the initiative to send it to the door, so I would be a little sorry for God's will if we didn't win the Whitebeard pirates. Sure enough, there is Marine, everyone be careful. When the pirates saw Luo Cheng, they all became vigilant. Even Bista frowned. He didn't know Luo Cheng, but at such a young age to be Marine Vice Admiral, he had to be careful. But who exactly is Luo Cheng? Luo Cheng stepped on the footboard hard and leapt in the air. The whole person was accompanied by a white air mass and rushed out quickly. No, everyone be careful. Bista saw Luo Cheng's light-like speed, his pupils shrank, and his face changed suddenly. Just as the pirates were vigilant, Luo Cheng had already appeared in the center of the pirates. Get out of the way. Bista shouted loudly and jumped away voluntarily. The eyes of the other pirates were also full of vigilance. They also didn't expect Luo Cheng to be so fast. He only saw a dark shadow, and the person was already gone. Who are you? Bista's eyes were full of vigilance, and he clenched the sword in his right hand, ready to fight at any time. He didn't know Luo Cheng, but the speed just now, it is estimated that their father was no more than this. This is a strong man similar to his father. Luo Cheng looked at Marine in front of him, and with a clanging sound, he pulled out the Tiankong cloud sword in his hand. Bista thought Luo Cheng was about to start, took a step back again, raised the weapon in his hand, the muscles on his body tensed, and the strength gathered in his hand, ready to explode at any time. A Marine, dare to attack our Whitebeard pirates. Although he knew Luo Cheng's strength, Bista did not admit it. Their Whitebeard pirates are strong. This is the confidence of all members of the Whitebeard pirates. Do you want to buy a knife? The legendary supreme sword Tiankong Yunjian will be sold to you at a low price. Luo Cheng decided to sell weapons first. After selling the weapon, collecting enough money, and strengthening it again, and finally grabbing the weapon back, and looting the Whitebeard pirates by the way. This plan is really perfect. Bista was stunned. The other pirates also opened their mouths in surprise, thinking that they might have heard it wrong. Luo Cheng actually wants to sell knives. A Marine sells knives to pirates. The pirates felt that their brains couldn't react. Is the relationship between Marine and pirates particularly good now? The fights that I saw in the past are gone, replaced by normal transactions. They haven't seen Marine for a while, and it's overturned. You ask me to buy a knife? Do you think I'm good at playing? Bista gritted his teeth in anger. He felt that Luo Cheng was humiliating him, otherwise how could he buy a knife from him? Luo Cheng didn't care, and flicked the blade of Tiankong Yunjian lightly, making a crisp metallic sound. Pleasant to listen to. Listen, this knife is not bad, right? It is extremely sharp, and it is known as the strongest supreme knife. Even if it is hideaway, it is not so good. Stop kidding, you are Marines, how could it be? Just as Bista was about to explode, a metallic sound echoed in his mind. He couldn't help but listen carefully, and then put his eyes on Tiankong Yunjian, his eyes full of desire. Don't say it, this is a really good knife. He could not only hear it from the sound, but just by looking at the blade, he could feel the excellence of the inconvenience. The sharp light illuminated his eyes. One after another cold air rushed towards his face, and Beasta clearly felt the sharpness of the Tiancong cloud sword. This is definitely a peerless sword. Certainly is a super fast sword. Compared with Luo Cheng's Tiancong cloud sword, his weapon can be thrown into the trash can. Even Black Saber Knight is better than this. Beasta suddenly had the urge to kill and take treasure, but thinking of Luo Cheng's strength, he finally restrained it. Don't lose the treasure in the end, but get single killed by Luo Cheng, it would be embarrassing at that time. Luo Cheng naturally noticed the longing in Beasta's heart and threw it in front of Beasta. How is it? Do you really want this knife? No swordsman can resist the temptation of the supreme sword. As long as 5 billion Baileys, as long as that amount of money, you can get the world's top supreme knife. Do you have an urge to buy it? Beasta's eyeballs swayed with the Tiancong cloud sword. 5 billion Bailey, robbery. Damn, we Whitebeard pirates are not something you Marines can rob. The pirates were all angry and thought Luo Cheng was robbing. 5 billion Bailey is not particularly expensive, and the top-notch supreme knife is indeed worth this price. Beasta couldn't help but nodded. Ordinary people think that hundreds of millions of Baileys are at most, but for a real swordsman, it is invaluable. 5 billion Bailey is not much. The pirates were speechless against Beasta. It's the first time someone thinks things are cheap. Beasta also reacted, very embarrassed. In any case, it should be said that it is expensive, and then desperately bargain. Wait. Luo Cheng seems to be Marine. Beasta realized that Marine actually planned to make a deal with him, but he was still thinking seriously. Marine. What is your purpose? Luo Cheng raised the Tiancong cloud sword in his hand and placed it in front of Beasta. I think this knife can be sold to you for 5 billion Bailey, and you can buy it now. Beasta was a little angry. What? Are you going to buy and sell? Luo Cheng nodded solemnly. I do plan to buy and sell strongly. Damn, it's so arrogant, it doesn't take us seriously at all. That's right, Captain, we must repair him severely and let him know how good our Whitebeard pirates are. The pirates were all angry and felt that their dignity was likely to be trampled on. Beasta was also full of anger. Damn, I'm from the Whitebeard pirates. Don't talk nonsense, if you were not from the Whitebeard pirates, you would have been looted long ago. But since you don't want to buy things, don't blame me for being rude. Luo Cheng received revolving heaven Kong Yunjian, ready to start at any time. To deal with such disobedient people, they should be severely suppressed, and then find a way to extort money. Damn, do you think our Whitebeard pirates are afraid of you? Beasta was also furious, and immediately prepared to act. But as soon as he raised the sword in his hand, Luo Cheng suddenly stepped forward and grabbed Beasta's sword tightly. The powerful force seemed to be fixed, no matter how hard Beasta struggled, he couldn't get rid of Luo Cheng's weapon. Beasta was shocked inside. Is this the strength of Luo Cheng? He is more powerful than him. When Marine had such a powerful master, they didn't know. Just when Beasta was surprised, Luo Cheng spread out his hand, and a huge storm emerged from his palm, and it kept erupting. This sudden storm became very big. Before Beasta could react, the storm became even bigger, and Beasta was caught in his breath. Ah! A scream came out. Beasta screamed in the storm. Not only Beasta, but other pirates were also involved by Luo Cheng. Damn, Logia storm fruit, I didn't expect this guy to be demon fruit power. Beasta's face was particularly ugly. Before he could react, he was affected by Luo Cheng's storm fruit, showing Luo Cheng's strength. If he is not careful, he might be defeated by Luo Cheng. As a cadre of the Whitebeard pirates, if he is defeated, then the fate is obvious, and he will definitely be caught by Marine. Then Marine will definitely take action against the Whitebeard pirates. Beasta gritted his teeth, rushed out of the storm, raised his knife, and ran towards Luo Cheng. When he got close to Luo Cheng, Beasta raised his weapon and slashed down at Luo Cheng's neck. A cold light burst out, illuminating Luo Cheng's eyes. Luo Cheng just took a step back, and immediately opened the distance between him and Beasta. Beasta slashed away with a single strike. How can that be? Under Beasta's surprised gaze, Luo Cheng stretched out his hand, covered Haki with his arm, and grabbed it hard at Beasta. Beasta couldn't even think about why Luo Cheng was so powerful, and immediately took 2 steps back. Damn, don't underestimate me, I'm also a great swordsman. An angry Beasta ran towards Luo Cheng. In the void, there suddenly appeared one after another cherry blossoms, flying all over the sky, and the sharp sword light spread out, and soon shrouded Luo Cheng. It's amazing, I didn't expect you to be an excellent swordsman, but to me, you're still far behind. Luo Cheng opened his hand. A storm suddenly appeared around his body, and all the sword energy was blocked by the storm. Bista's pupils shrank. His sword chi was blocked so easily. Sure enough, Luo Cheng is too powerful. Just when Bista was thinking, Luo Cheng quickly rushed in front of Bista. His body accompanied the storm, and soon he was involved in Bista again. Damn, this storm is so troublesome. Bista struggled constantly, but it was a pity that he didn't have time to struggle at all. One of Luo Cheng's Bista's feet, the scenery smashed against Bista. One after another windblade hit Bista. Bista used Haki to cover his body at critical moments, which saved him from injury. Otherwise, the cutting force of Luo Cheng's Stormfruit is definitely not something that ordinary people can stop. At least Bista couldn't stop it. Although he blocked his body with Haki, the impact of the Stormfruit kept slamming into Vista, and Vista felt pain in his body. At this critical moment, Bista gritted his teeth, resisted the impact on his body, picked up the weapon in his hand, and slashed down at Luo Cheng. But before he could cut Luo Cheng raised one foot and kicked Bista's body, sending Bista flying. Bista was kicked out just now, and the storm suddenly blew over, pulling Bista into the storm again. Rely on. Bista couldn't help but curse. Why is it so unlucky to be blown in again? Luo Cheng immediately approached Bista, grabbed Bista's shoulders tightly, and pulled Bista into the storm. Sorry, don't think about leaving here, you can't run away. Bista cursed in his heart, quite unhappy. Tai Ke is so evil, so irritating. Why is Luo Cheng so dragged? Just when Bista was cursing in his heart, Luo Cheng grabbed Bista and slammed onto the deck. With a loud noise, the pirate ship trembled violently. Bista felt a burst of pain, and his face changed completely. Luo Cheng picked up Bista again, threw it aside gently, and then patted his hand. I'm so sorry, you've lost. Bista was lying on the deck, his body was particularly sore, and his eyes were full of angry eyes that wished he could kill Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng is calm and not in a hurry. Really? Then you buy my Tiankong Yunjian, you don't want to, is it finished now? Bista didn't know what to say. The first time someone threatened him to buy something to turn. In the end, Bista was caught. His strength is much worse than those of the Emperor's deputy, let alone Luo Cheng. He was suppressed by Luo Cheng in minutes. After getting Bista, Luo Cheng contacted Whitebeard as soon as possible, and then prepared to blackmail him. Don't blackmail, feel a little unhappy inside? He hasn't forgotten his purpose this time. Knowing that Bista was caught, Whitebeard didn't care so much, and immediately rushed over with his subordinates. In less than half a day, more than a dozen pirate ships rushed over and surrounded Luo Cheng. Facing so many top pirates, Luo Cheng was quite calm and not afraid at all. That is, the Whitebeard pirates, the 4 emperors of the New World, are actually not that scary. Father, it seems that there is only one person. Marco spoke up. Whitebeard actually saw Luo Cheng, but his attention was focused on Bista. Zizi didn't pay attention to Luo Cheng. Just a small marine. Unless Garp was here with Marine, or anyone else, Whitebeard never paid attention. Luo Cheng put one foot next to Bista and kicked it lightly, and Bista was kicked into the air. Whitebeard, your son has been caught by me, and if I move a little, your son will die. Damn, kind of put Bista down and we went one-on-one. That's right, if you have the guts, go head to head. Facing everyone's provocation, Luo Cheng was very calm. There was a murderous aura in Whitebeard's eyes, which was slowly released, filling Luo Cheng. The sky also became gloomy, and endless dark clouds came out, which soon shrouded the sun. There was a sudden gust of strong wind on the sea, setting off huge waves, constantly flapping the pirate ship. This is the aura of the strongest man in the world. However, Luo Cheng didn't take Whitebeard seriously at all. No matter how powerful he was still a little worse than him. Whitebeard's face was a little dignified. He could see that Luo Cheng was really powerful. Facing his aura, Jiu Bo was not surprised. He was so calm. He was definitely not an ordinary person. Marine, if you dare to kill Bista, I can guarantee that you will be hunted down. Luo Cheng heard Whitebeard's threat, picked up the knife, and pierced Bista's arm directly. For those who threaten him, he should be ruthless. Bista gritted his teeth and did not scream, but his expression looked painful. Bastard, hurry up and release Bista. Many pirates were angry. Marco turned into a phoenix form and flew into the air, ready to approach Luo Cheng first. But before he could get close, the knife in Luo Cheng's hand was already placed beside Bista's neck, and he pulled it gently. A bloodstain appeared on the neck. Don't go any further, or my hand will shake and Bista will be finished. Marco saw that Beasta was bleeding and had to stop, or else he didn't get close to Luo Cheng and Beasta was killed. Whitebeard clenched the big sword in his hand and was very angry, but in order to save Beasta, he could only restrain himself temporarily. Marine, you're tough enough. Where and where, if you want to blame so many of you, if you don't talk about martial arts, attacking me, a good young Marine, I can only hold a handle in my hand. Luo Cheng smiled, completely ignoring Whitebeard's murderous intent. Wait until he gets Whitebeard's ransom, and then strengthen a wave, whoever kills who may be. Tell me, what's your purpose? Whitebeard knew very well that since Luo Cheng stayed, he must have his own purpose. Luo Cheng smiled even brighter, she liked someone as smart as Whitebeard. It's very simple, 5 billion Bailey. Buy the lives of these people, as long as the money is in hand, I will immediately release your sons. Whitebeard opened his mouth in surprise. Although he knew that Luo Cheng had a purpose, he never thought that Luo Cheng's purpose was money. A Marine, and still such a mighty Marine, shouldn't throw his head and blood in the face of justice. When did you rob pirates for money? The other cadres also opened their mouths in surprise. Your purpose is only for money? Whitebeard couldn't help but ask. Yes, it's for the money. Luo Cheng nodded. But you're Marine, shouldn't you just catch these pirates and impel them down, or kill them? Whitebeard made a point. First time seeing such a special Marine. The old Marines either attacked their Whitebeard pirates or tried to catch them. Now someone wants to rob their pirate group. Nonsense, as a Marine, when I encounter pirates, I should fight to kill the enemy and then blackmail the pirates. Isn't this normal? Luo Cheng said it for granted. The pirates all nodded. This is quite normal indeed. It's okay, you bastard. When is blackmailing pirates normal? After bravely killing the enemy, how can you blackmail the pirates? Shouldn't it be the pursuit of victory? As for working hard with pirates, don't be too stupid. If you have this time to work hard, it's better to earn more money. When you get old, you can also use it for retirement. Luo Cheng muttered to himself. All Marines' faces darkened. This is an unprincipled Marine. If all Marines are like Luo Cheng, they will be happy. Then there will be no hassle later. If you run into trouble, you can settle it with money. Cough cough cough. Don't talk nonsense, hurry up and prepare the money. As long as you give me the money, I can let these people go. Of course, if you have enough money, I can also give you any help. Luo Cheng's eyes revealed a brilliance. Oh, so how much money do you need to betray Marine? Whitebeard asked with interest. The other pirates were also very interested. This is a very serious issue. If you want me to betray these people, then a little money may not be enough, at least 500 billion Bailey. That's right, at least 500 billion Baileys are needed to strengthen Luo Cheng 50 times. After being strengthened so many times, even a pig can defeat the world government, and it's nothing to betray a Marine. Whitebeard rolled his eyes. So much money is nothing. It is impossible for him to have 500 billion Bailey, and even if he has so much money, he will definitely not give it to Luo Cheng. At least it's a bad deal. Whitebeard, stop talking nonsense, come up with 5 billion Baileys, or I'll tear up the vote. Whitebeard gritted his teeth. To be robbed by Marine is so unpleasant. They have always robbed others. Go, take out 5 billion Baileys. Although Whitebeard was very upset, in order to save Beasta's life, he could only endure it. Anyway, compared to his family, money is not important. What he has is money, and he has nowhere to spend it in his life. Marco led his men into the cabin, and not long after, a group of people carrying a lot of boxes placed them in front of Luo Cheng. It's all the money, it's worth 5 billion Baileys, hurry up, let Beasta go. Whitebeard's tone was a little cold. Luo Cheng hooked his fingers lightly, and a strong wind blew, directly blowing all the boxes up. The gold and silver jewelry inside also spilled out. It's just that the hurricane was too strong, blowing all the gold and silver jewelry over, and it blew on Luo Cheng's interface. Then the storm slowly stopped. Whitebeard's pupils shrank. Logia storm fruit, no wonder you are so arrogant, you do have arrogant capital. The other pirates were also quite surprised. Another Logia demon fruit power. Marine 3 Admiral is hateful enough, and now Marine has one more, which is clearly bullying them pirates. Forget it, not much to say. Luo Cheng didn't say anything, he just recharged everything. In an instant, there were 5 billion Baileys in the system, and as long as he was willing, he could exchange a large number of attribute points at any time. It's just a pity that attribute points are useless. Now he just wants to collect 10 billion Bailey, then exchange a little wealth point, and then strengthen it. Even Whitebeard can press it on the ground and rub it on the ground. Although it was just what he thought. All the money gone. The pirates widened their eyes and looked confused. It's hard to imagine why the money has all disappeared. Shouldn't there be a lot of money? Could it be that Luo Chang is another fruit person? But that's not right. The storm fruit doesn't have so many weird abilities. Okay, Marine, now that you've got the money, hurry up and release my sons. Whitebeard didn't care so much. He cared more about his son now, or his son was more important. Everything else is not important. Luo Chang finally regained his senses. He glanced at Beasta, who was beside him, and had absolutely no intention of letting go. Whitebeard's face was even more ugly. His right hand clenched the big knife. The muscles of his arms were bulging, and the blue veins were exposed, showing Whitebeard's anger. Marine, do you want to cheat? As Marine, isn't it normal to be rude? Luo Chang said plausibly. The pirates gritted their teeth in anger. This bastard dares to trick us. Yeah, that's nasty. I've never seen such a bastard, and he's still Marine. Marine actually blackmailed the pirates, and he said it plausibly. Can Marine be fooled? All the pirates disliked Luo Chang. Whitebeard also raised his knife, as if Luo Chang didn't give a reason, he would explode completely. Whitebeard, don't be in such a hurry, we can do a good business. As long as you give me some money every year in the future, I will let your son go. Luo Chang had a big smile on his face, but this smile made the pirates even more angry. Marine, are you crazy about money? You just took 5 billion Baileys, and you still want money now, and they still give you money every year. Who do you think we are? We are the Whitebeard pirates. How could we possibly pay you protection fees? Although Whitebeard didn't speak, the meaning of the look was obvious. They are the famous Whitebeard pirates, and he is the world's top pirate. Whitebeard, known as the strongest man in the world. How could it be possible to pay Luo Chang a protection fee? If you say this, you will lose all the face of the pirates. Impossible. We will never pay the protection fee, you don't have to think about it. Before Whitebeard could say anything, Beasta roared. He must not disgrace the Whitebeard pirates. Luo Chang looked down at Beasta, stretched out his hand and patted it twice. You're quite arrogant, but since you refused, don't blame me for being rude, but I'll be very angry. Luo Chang threw Beasta hard. Then a strong storm emerged, rolling up all the people on the deck, in all directions. Hurry up and save people. Whitebeard yelled hastily. Marco took the lead and flew to Vista's side in a blink of an eye, and grabbed Vista. The strong storm blew on Marco, and Marco almost failed to stabilize his body, but fortunately he finally stabilized. The other pirates were not so unlucky. They fell into the sea one by one. The storm was very strong, and a wave of waves was blown. As soon as some pirates emerged, they were photographed in the sea by huge waves. Another storm came. Luo Chang had already returned to the warship, and the warship slowly sailed into the distance under the blowing wind. Whitebeard raised his hand, ready for a sea shock. But seeing the pirates struggling in the sea, they finally gave up. Because there are too many pirates, and they are all his sons. Once he uses shock fruit, his sons will definitely get hurt, so he can only give up Luo Chang in the end. After Luo Chang left, all the pirates were rescued. Marco's face was a little ugly. Dad, let that Marine run away. Yeah, I always thought that Marine wouldn't let it go, he might do something else. The expressions of the nearby pirates were a little unpleasant. Beasta, in particular, felt a little sorry for Whitebeard. Dad, I'm so sorry, if it wasn't for my carelessness, I would never have been caught by him. Okay, my silly son, it's none of your business, you're my son, and father can forgive you for any mistakes you make. Whitebeard tapped Beasta's shoulder lightly. Beasta burst into tears and was very moved, and the other pirates were also moved. I have to say, the charm of Whitebeard is really great. It's just the charisma that shines through. Okay, don't cry, we should go back, and be careful about that Marine, he doesn't look like a good guy. Whitebeard is still wary of Luo Chang. He always felt that Luo Chang had some conspiracy and tricks, and felt a little uneasy in his heart. On the sea, a ship is sailing. There are many fierce pirates standing on the deck. However, these pirates were all trembling, and their eyes were full of fear. Sitting in front of them was a Marine who was counting money, and this Marine was of course Luo Chang. After Luo Chang left Whitebeard, he found a relatively powerful pirate group, and forced him to rob. The robbers were the Whitebeard pirates. Well done, starting tomorrow, keep working hard and loot the Whitebeard pirates for me. These pirates want to cry without tears. Let them go to rob the Whitebeard pirates, don't they go to die? Defeated by the Red Hair pirates a few years ago, and easily defeated, they naturally know the power of the Whitebeard pirates. If they can, they really don't want to provoke Whitebeard, but Luo Chang is a strong pervert, and also beats them in 3 or 2. Work hard. I won't treat you badly, Even if Whitebeard comes, I can protect your safety. Luo Cheng said with a big smile. The big deal is that by locking them into Impel Down, you can protect them for a lifetime, but you need to pay a little salary. The price is freedom. Pirates always think Luo Cheng is not a good person. The Whitebeard pirates soon learned that their territory had been robbed, and were particularly angry. The last time I was blackmailed by Luo Cheng was nothing, but now even the pirates have come to impress them, even daring to touch the tiger's butt. Especially Beasta was the most angry. Father, these pirates will be handed over to me. Beasta was outraged. He is very angry now, and just wants to catch these pirates to wash away his dissatisfaction. Just vent your anger. Whitebeard frowned, but nodded anyway. Then you must be careful, these pirates should have some skills. Dad, you can rest assured, that is, an ordinary little pirate, nothing at all, I will solve them in minutes. Beasta set off with his men. A few days later, Beasta found these pirates and stopped the pirates. You hateful pirates, you dare to attack our Whitebeard pirates, today is your death. Beasta pulled out the weapon in his hand, jumped, and landed on the deck smoothly. Then a lot of pirates appeared and surrounded them. The pirates were about to cry. Unexpectedly, the Whitebeard pirates actually sent people, and they were also a cadre, and they seemed to be quite powerful. Inside the cabin, Luo Cheng almost couldn't help laughing when he heard Beasta's familiar voice. I didn't expect that luck was so good, and it was Beasta again. Beasta, long time no see. Luo Cheng walked out slowly. Beasta heard the footsteps in the cabin, recalled Luo Cheng's voice in his mind, and his face changed instantly. How does this sound like Luo Cheng? It does look a lot like Luo Cheng. Beasta raised his head and saw Luo Cheng in front of him, his face turned green. Why is it so unlucky to meet Luo Cheng again? Could it be that this was a trap set by Luo Cheng? Yes, very likely. Looking at the smile on Luo Cheng's face, Beasta knew very well that he had been tricked again, and even sent him to the door. It's really unfortunate, there are a few more unlucky than him. The other members of the Whitebeard pirates didn't look very good either. What did they do in their last life to be so unlucky? They met Luo Cheng again. Actually met Luo Cheng again. Luo Cheng smiled brightly and stretched out a hand, and a storm burst into the air. Feeling the storm, the pirates tightened their hearts, and Beasta clenched the weapon in his hand, staring at Luo Cheng. Who the hell are you? Marine. Why are you targeting us, the Whitebeard pirates? Beasta now suspects Luo Cheng's identity. He always felt that Luo Cheng was not Marine. If it was Marine, it would be impossible to catch them and let them go. Luo Cheng is probably a pirate. My identity, you will know one day. Luo Cheng suddenly ran quickly, and in the blink of an eye, he appeared next to Beasta and stretched out a hand. Beasta's pupils shrank and immediately raised the knife. But before he had time to act, a huge storm blew over, and Beasta's body trembled. Just like that, let it go, Cheng immediately stretched out, grabbed Beasta's head, and pressed it hard on the deck. Beasta was so dizzy, his arms were numb, and his weapon fell to the side. A storm blew, and the Beasta weapon was blown away. I'm so sorry, without a weapon, you are no longer my opponent. Luo Cheng grabbed Beasta and punched and kicked. Beasta was powerless to resist. The pirates of the Whitebeard pirates wanted to help Beasta, but the storm on the sea was so strong that most of them were blown up. A small number of people have fallen into the sea and are struggling. Luo Cheng fought for a while, picked up Beasta, and looked directly at Beasta. I'm so sorry, and I'm a little embarrassed for having sent you thousands of miles away again, your affection is so heavy. Beasta almost vomited blood. If he could, he really didn't want to send people thousands of miles away. Unfortunately, Luo Cheng was caught again, and he had known that he had let his father come over by himself. Oh, forget it, I won't hit you. Luo Cheng took out the handcuffs and handcuffed Beasta. He didn't move on, but threw it aside. Beasta struggled to his feet. What on earth do you want? Me? I'm so sorry, I just want to trouble your dad and let him know what I'm capable of. Luo Cheng sneered. He is going to make Whitebeard have to compromise through a series of means, so as to hand over protection money to him. Last time, he didn't keep asking because he knew that even if he wanted, Whitebeard wouldn't give it. So he planned to spend some time looking for trouble with the Whitebeard pirates. As long as Whitebeard couldn't solve him and was afraid of trouble, he would eventually compromise. This is Luo Cheng's final plan. Beasta didn't know what Luo Cheng was thinking, but was very angry. With this angry expression, I can't wait to eat Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng ignored Beasta's expression, walked to the side calmly, and ordered the pirates who had been kidnapped by him to capture all the Whitebeard pirates. After finishing all this, Luo Chang began to call Whitebeard to prepare for the final negotiation. Moby Dick. Whitebeard sat in the middle of the boat with a large knife in his hand, and angry flames in his eyes. The pirates around were also very angry. They also did not expect that Beasta met Luo Chang once and was caught by Luo Chang again. A person can actually be unlucky to this step. Dad. Definitely teach that Marine a lesson. Marco gritted his teeth, and the pirates around were also very angry, wishing to swallow Luo Chang alive. Needless to say, Whitebeard was equally angry. Never been so humiliated. To have caught his son over and over again, this was absolutely intolerable to him. Go. Find those Marines now. I want to make those Marines regret. Not everyone can offend me, but I am Whitebeard. Whitebeard hockey's side leakage, powerful momentum, even affects the weather in the sky. A dark cloud spreads out, covering the sky, and the black one is very shocking. Let's go. Now teach those Marines a lesson. Countless pirate ships set off in a mighty manner. It can be said that the entire Whitebeard pirates were dispatched. Such a huge group of pirates was dispatched, and naturally attracted Marine's attention. Marine also began to investigate what happened. After all, if this one is not careful, it is very likely that the Whitebeard pirates will attack them. Luo Chang's side, with a happy smile on his face, smiled brightly. Because he has already collected all the money, he has been patient and has not exchanged for wealth points. We are about to deal with Whitebeard, so Luo Chang intends to exchange a wave of wealth points, then strengthen it, and finally fight against Whitebeard. System. Exchange for wealth points for me. In an instant, all the money in the system disappeared, replaced by a little bit of wealth. Looking at the wealth point in front of him, Luo Chang was overjoyed. He can finally strengthen. But what should be strengthened first? The physique is still hockey. Or the fruit of the storm, which is worth thinking about. Luo Chang quickly made a decision to strengthen his physique first. After all, physique is the most important thing. System. Strengthen my physique. As soon as he finished speaking, the wealth point disappeared, and an invisible energy roamed Luo Chang's body, constantly strengthening his body. Luo Chang can even clearly sense that there is a vast power in his body. This power is enough to destroy the world. Of course, all of this is actually Luo Chang's illusion. Although his strength has become stronger, he has not perverted to that point. Just a lot stronger than before. This airflow quickly disappeared, and on the system panel, Luo Chang's physical attributes also changed. Name. Luo Chang. Physical fitness, 11,000 hockey, 10,000. Swordsmanship, 6,000. Storm fruit, 10,000. Thunder breathing, 10,000. Now you have broken through the limit of the human ceiling, but please don't be proud, you have not reached the point where you can crush the 4 emperors. Luo Chang was overjoyed. The physique finally broke through the limit, and the strength became more and more pervert. However, he has not forgotten the earnest teachings of the system. He has become more pervert, but he has not yet reached the level of disdain for the heroes. In the future, it should be calm and low-key. Ding dong. Congratulations, host. Your physique has broken through the limits of human beings, gaining special attributes, super defensive power, super recovery power. Now, you already have a defense and recovery power that surpasses Kaido. Under normal circumstances, you can go out and wave. The system's voice suddenly entered Luo Chang's mind, making Luo Chang pause for a while. Super recovery and defense. Luo Chang's eyes were full of joy. The reason why Kaido is so pervert is because of its super defense and vitality. No one can do anything about Kaido. As a result, Marine had to compromise with Kaido. He finally has the ability to surpass Kaido now. It is estimated that as long as it is not tough with the world government, it will never be in danger. Luo Chang smiled happily. Next to him, Beasta was quite upset when he saw Luo Chang smiling, and if he could, he would really like to rub Luo Chang on the ground. But I'm so sorry, now. Luo Chang noticed Beasta's gaze, turned his head to look. This look made Beasta a little scared, and took a step back subconsciously. Ha ha ha, don't worry, I am very happy today, so I will never bully you. That's right, Luo Chang is very happy now. Originally, he was already very strong, but now he has strengthened his physique and has become more pervert. Of course he is very happy inside. Don't be complacent, even if you defeat me today, Dad will definitely avenge me, you wait for me. Beasta gritted his teeth in anger, and his heart was full of anger. If eyes could kill, Beasta would have smashed Luo Chang's body into tens of thousands of pieces, and killed and whipped his body. But that's just a thought. Luo Chang smiled, not angry, but slapped Beasta twice. It's okay, I'm waiting for Whitebeard to arrive, he won't catch me anyway. Beasta's face was ugly. Because Whitebeard might not be able to catch Luo Chang, if he could, He would have caught him last time, not to mention that they would be captives again. Next a group of pirates came over. These are the pirates captured by Luo Cheng. What's matter? Several pirates squatted in front of Luo Cheng, looking uneasy, and their eyes were full of panic. But the captain mustered up his courage. Lord Marine, I don't know if we can leave. The pirate captain understands. Luo Cheng wanted to trouble Whitebeard. If he stayed, it would be very dangerous, so he had to find a way to retreat. What? Are you afraid? Forget it, since you want to go, let's go. It just so happens that there are more pirate ships here, and I will give you one of them. Luo Cheng didn't care either. All he needs is one boat, nothing else matters. And for these pirates, he has no intention of killing them. No matter how you say it, it has helped me a lot, and it doesn't matter if I die or not. Thank you, Lord Marine. The pirates left excitedly. Beasta was even more puzzled. Who is Luo Cheng? It looks like a marine, but he actually released these pirates. He doesn't look like a marine at all. He always thought Luo Cheng was more like a pirate. In fact, Luo Cheng also did a lot of things that pirates do. A week later, Whitebeard came again. As soon as he came over, Whitebeard saw Luo Cheng sitting on the bow, Beasta and others who were tied together. Yo, Beasta, your father came to save you. What do you think? Luo Cheng had a playful look in his eyes. Beasta gritted his teeth in anger, bowed his head shyly, a little embarrassed, and faced Luo Cheng. Because it's so embarrassing. He was kidnapped by Marine for the second time, and by the same person. It feels very embarrassing to say it. Hey, don't be embarrassed, it's normal to lose to me. After all, I'm so strong, you're definitely not my opponent. Luo Cheng shook his hair. The pirates on the deck all bowed their heads. Because they were all captured for the second time, it was natural to feel ashamed. They felt a little embarrassed to confront Whitebeard. Luo Cheng, hurry up and release Beasta. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude, I'll let you know how good I am. Whitebeard is still the same hockey as before, and he deserves to be called the strongest man in the world. Hey, Whitebeard, why are you threatening me again? I want to keep a low profile. Luo Cheng put a hand on Beasta's shoulder and lifted Beasta up. Whitebeard gritted his teeth, wanting to explode, but finally restrained himself. He wants to think about Beasta's life. Luo Cheng, what are you trying to do? Whitebeard suppressed the anger in his heart. His right hand clenched the big pheasant knife in his hand, and his arm trembled slightly, showing how angry Whitebeard was now. The other pirates were also very angry, and their eyes wanted to eat Luo Cheng. Forget it, if these guys are of any use to me, I gave them to you. Luo Cheng grabbed Beasta and spun dozens of times in the air, making Beasta dizzy. Almost vomited out. After a lot of laps, Luo Cheng felt that it was almost the same, and threw Beasta to Whitebeard with a hard flick. Whitebeard reached out a hand, grabbed Beasta, and set Beasta aside. Beasta stood up immediately, then lowered his head, with shame in his eyes. Dad. I'm so sorry, it's all my fault for being careless and falling into that guy's trap again. It doesn't matter, his strength is very strong, it is estimated that even Marco is not an opponent, so don't take it to heart. Of course Whitebeard wasn't angry anymore. As a father, Whitebeard definitely qualifies. Beasta is still ashamed, but thinking of Luo Cheng, Beasta's expression is a little serious. Dad, this person is too powerful. I have not been his opponent in the 2 fights. The expressions of the other pirates were a little serious, and even Beasta was easily defeated, showing Luo Cheng's strength. HMPH, it's not just a marine. First have defeated marine in this life, but he's not the only one. Whitebeard snorted coldly, completely ignoring Luo Cheng. No matter how powerful Luo Cheng was, he was still Whitebeard. Luo Cheng summoned another storm, involving all the remaining pirates, and then threw them into the sea. The pirates fell into the sea one by one, very embarrassed, and even screamed. Whitebeard, don't hurry to save people. Whitebeard gritted his teeth. Throwing his sons into the sea and asking him to save people is too abhorrent. Now he just wants to give Luo Cheng 8 pieces. It took a while, and finally all the pirates who fell into the water were picked up. Luo Cheng jumped and landed smoothly on the island on one side. Whitebeard, an island specially prepared for you, come here, let's have a good fight. Dad, you must teach this guy a lesson. Yes, let this marine know how powerful our Whitebeard pirates are. The pirates were filled with righteous indignation. They didn't think Whitebeard would lose anyway, only that Luo Cheng would lose. Whitebeard didn't think much of it, he slowly approached the coast, and then walked towards Luo Cheng, the momentum on his body gradually released. A strong aura enveloped Luo Cheng. Under this momentum, the yellow sand on the beach kept shaking, and cracks appeared on the ground. Luo Cheng frowned slightly. Conqueror's Haki. I didn't expect Whitebeard's Conqueror's Haki to be so powerful that it could even cause substantial damage. Sure enough, none of the emperors of the New World are easy to mess with. Whitebeard frowned as well. In addition to the redhead Shanks and Kaido, Marine is only Garp and 3 Admiral who can stay under his powerful Conqueror's Haki. Now there is another Luo Cheng. Boy, if you dare to treat our Whitebeard pirates, then I'm welcome. Whitebeard swung the big knife and slammed it on the ground, then stretched out his right hand and made his signature move. Come out, Daddy's shock fruit. This Marine is finished and will definitely be blown up by Daddy's shock fruit. All the pirates were very excited and watched eagerly, as if in the next second, Whitebeard would completely blow Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng stood there calmly, motionless, not worried at all. Whitebeard moved, and a white air mass appeared on his right hand, vibrating constantly. With Whitebeard's force, shock fruit was activated, and the powerful force ripped apart the space and continuously impacted the ground. Click, click, click. The ground suddenly shattered, and cracks appeared on it, and they continued to expand, quickly forming a huge ravine. A powerful impact rushed in front of Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng raised his right hand, clenched it into a fist, and then threw a punch with force, facing the impact. Whitebeard's pupils shrank. He also didn't expect Luo Cheng to be hard on his attack, which is not something ordinary people can do. Rumbling. A deafening explosion sounded. Luo Cheng hit the shockwave with one punch, which exploded instantly, and countless air currents visible to the naked eye erupted, setting off a burst of airwaves. A big hole was thrown directly into the ground. With the two at the center, the airflow spreads out in all directions, constantly impacting the earth. In the distance, trees were cut in half, and then flew into the sky, disappearing without a trace. Even the sea was affected. The monstrous waves were constantly boiling, and more than a dozen warships were constantly rolling in the huge waves, and there was a feeling of sinking at any time. Not good. Everyone retreat quickly and leave the battlefield as soon as possible. The pirates retreated far away, rumbling. The earth was trembling constantly, and the sea was roaring. On the pirate ship, the members of the Whitebeard pirates were all shocked, and were shocked by Luo Cheng's strength. It's amazing, this guy can actually fight against Dad. When did Marine have such a powerful person? Yes, it's terrible, when did Marine have such a powerful person? Marco suddenly felt an uneasy feeling in his heart. But soon, Marco didn't care. Although Luo Cheng is powerful, their entire Whitebeard pirates are here, so there is no need to be afraid. It's a big deal. Are you still afraid that you won't be able to beat a Luo Cheng? On the island, Whitebeard's expression was serious. He found that Luo Cheng was not ordinary, he was able to block his shock fruit, and he looked very relaxed. Whitebeard, so are you. Luo Cheng sneered, stepped on the ground hard, and the whole person leapt in the air, like a cannonball, rushing out quickly. He quickly rushed into the airflow, came to Whitebeard's eyes, and stretched out a hand to grab Whitebeard hard. Whitebeard responded quickly. The moment Luo Cheng approached, he quickly picked up the big knife on one side and slashed down at Luo Cheng. Above the broadsword, there is a white air mass. The white air mass vibrated continuously, and there was a whistling sound in the air, resounding through the sky, deafening. Luo Cheng didn't hesitate, slammed his fist on the big pheasant knife, and the vast power in his body burst out. Rumbling. Between the two, a strong shockwave erupted, straight into the sky, and soon the sky was cut open. A huge dark abyss appeared in the sky. The abyss continued to expand, giving people a great shock in their hearts. It's scary, is this the strength of this Marine? The pirates were all shocked by Luo Cheng's strength, and there was a haze in their hearts. They always feel that Luo Cheng is not so simple. Whitebeard's heart was even more shocked. He could intuitively feel Luo Cheng's power, and the continuous power on the big pheasant knife emerged. With such a strong power, even he couldn't help trembling. It can be seen that Luo Cheng's power may surpass him. Because of this, Whitebeard was surprised. He is a little giant, with a giant-like physique, and after hard training, he is definitely the best in the world in terms of strength. But Luo Cheng is such a thin human, the power that explodes in his body is not even worse than him. What? Whitebeard, aren't you surprised? That's my strength. Luo Cheng's body leaned forward, and the powerful force was constantly crushing Whitebeard. Even Whitebeard had to take a step back. But Whitebeard is Whitebeard after all, since he can't compare to Luo Cheng in terms of strength, then don't compare his strength with Luo Cheng. Whitebeard took a step back, removed Luo Cheng's power, and slashed down with the big pheasant knife in his hand. The vibrational force hit Luo Cheng again. Luo Cheng had no intention of retreating at all, punching punch after punch. Maybe it's because the physique has just been strengthened, so Luo Cheng wanted to try his own physique, and he didn't use the storm fruit. Rumbling. The impact of the two people's battle was very strong. The whole island was full of explosions, and the ground trembled violently. Even the sea was affected. The sky also became gloomy because of the momentum of the two, and for a while, dark clouds filled the air and completely enveloped everyone. On the sea, the warship swayed from a distance. Everyone's eyes widened, looking at the battle between the two. Their faces were particularly ugly. They could see that Luo Cheng was too powerful. Even Whitebeard couldn't help Luo Cheng. A small number of senior cadres could see that Luo Cheng was so pervert that he was able to suppress Whitebeard. In terms of power, Whitebeard did not dare to touch its edge. So Marco and the others were all worried, and they were even a little bit anxious. The fighting lasted more than an hour. Luo Cheng could sense that Whitebeard was exhausted, and if he continued playing like this, Whitebeard would definitely lose. After all, people are old, and because of the power of shock fruit, there are many wounds and many old wounds on the body. Unable to fight Luo Cheng for a long time. No, you guys are watching here, I'm going to help Dad. Marco gritted his teeth, immediately turned into a phoenix, and quickly flew towards Luo Cheng. After getting close to Luo Cheng, Marco stretched out a foot and kicked Luo Cheng hard. Luo Cheng turned around quickly and grabbed Marco with his right hand. Marco didn't even react. Luo Cheng was already approaching. When he reacted, Marco realized that he was out of control, and the whole person flew in the air. The next second, Luo Cheng grabbed Marco and fell to the ground, smashing a big hole on the ground. Marco snorted lightly, his face became extremely old, and his breathing was a little heavy. With just one move, Luo Cheng injured Marco. Even worse than the one punched by Garp during Summit War in the original book. If it wasn't for Marco, the fruit of the Zone Phantom Beast, the Phoenix fruit, with strong resilience, he might have been severely injured by Luo Cheng long ago. Luo Cheng, give me death. Whitebeard was also afraid that Marco would be injured, so he quickly came to Luo Cheng's side and slashed at Luo Cheng with the big knife in his hand. A strong storm approached Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng turned around, raised his foot, and kicked the blade hard. The powerful force made Whitebeard's arm tremble, but he still gritted his teeth, holding the big knife in both hands, pressing down fiercely. Marco endured the pain and immediately flew into the air, ready to continue to help Whitebeard share the pressure. Luo Cheng turned his back to Marco, but he could feel Marco's power and sneered. Just as Marco was approaching, a huge storm suddenly appeared, directly involving Marco. Marco didn't have time to react, and his body floated with the wind, constantly spinning, and the speed of rotation was very fast. Damn it. Before Marco could resist, the storm pushed Marco away. This is the power of Luo Cheng. The physique has become stronger, resulting in Luo Cheng's storm fruit also becoming a little stronger. Although there is no qualitative change, it is still very easy for the careless Marco. It's easy to do in minutes. Marco quickly flew far away. There was another loud noise. Luo Cheng kicked down, and easily kicked Whitebeard back 2 steps. Then Luo Cheng took a step back at the same time, and did not continue. This battle is over, there is no need to continue fighting. Whitebeard stopped. He also found Luo Cheng's difficulty. Of course it was impossible to fight Luo Cheng, and there was no need to fight hard. Marine, what's your purpose? Whitebeard's face darkened. He knew very well that Luo Cheng came to trouble him, but he let Beasta go, and he didn't fight him. It must have a purpose. It's very simple. I want you Whitebeard pirates to provide me with 500 million Baileys every year, and I will let you go. Luo Cheng had a gloomy smile on his face. 500 million Bailey, several billion in a few years, plus other pirate groups, or other income, he made a lot of money. Whitebeard felt incredible. The last time Luo Cheng said he would charge a protection fee, but he didn't take it to heart. First, it was impossible to pay the protection fee, and he didn't believe that Marine was here to collect the protection fee, so he didn't take it to heart. As a result, Luo Cheng really received protection fees. This made Whitebeard somewhat unable to believe that he was not keeping up with the trend of the times. Marine also started collecting protection money from pirates. And they are the #1 pirate group in the world. How's it going? Whitebeard, as long as you pay me the protection fee, it's a lot of good. Of course, if you don't pay the protection fee, then don't blame me for being rude. I can only continue to work on your territory, and you should also bless your people and don't go out alone. Luo Cheng opened his mouth and threatened. Whitebeard also heard Luo Cheng's threat. His face was particularly ugly, and the murderous intent in his eyes did not restrain. Marine, if you dare to threaten me, Believe it or not, I will also attack your Marines. Attack your Marine base. It doesn't matter, anyway, when they were Marines, they were already ready to sacrifice, and they were sacrificed in advance, I wouldn't care. Luo Cheng didn't care. As long as there is enough money, part of the Marine can be sacrificed. And he didn't believe that Whitebeard would dare to turn against Marine completely, unless Whitebeard didn't care about the lives of his children. By the way, I forgot to tell you, if you really do something with Marine will definitely hunt you down, and more of your sons will die by then. So you only have two options. Either you turn your face with me, and you will definitely turn your face with Marine in the future, and then you will suffer heavy casualties. Either give me 500 million Baileys every year. I promise not to trouble you in the future. Even if Marine does something to you, I won't do anything to you. Luo Cheng continued to threaten. Whitebeard's soft spot is too big. The entire Whitebeard pirates are his weakness, unless Whitebeard is willing to give up his children. But this is obviously impossible. Whitebeard's face was too ugly. Luo Cheng was right. He would never give up his children. And unless it is absolutely necessary, he will never turn his back on Marine. Luo Cheng caught his weakness. Marine, you are really cruel. If I give you 500 million Baileys, you won't bother me again in the future. Yes, give me 500 million Bailey. I will never trouble you, and if you need it in the future, you can give me money, and I can give you some remuneration. A smile appeared on Luo Cheng's face. Whitebeard was a little confused. What do you give me? What can you give me? It's very simple. If the world government has plans to deal with you in the future, or if Marine wants to deal with you, I can inform you in advance. Of course, you need to pay. As long as he has money, Luo Cheng can sell Marine. Of course, Luo Cheng wouldn't really sell Marine. At most he would sell some Marine information in exchange for some money. This is the money transaction. Whitebeard was a little surprised. He didn't expect Luo Cheng to betray Marine for money. Marine is really blind to make you Marine, and still have such a high status. Luo Cheng. Although he can betray anyone for money, it doesn't mean that Whitebeard can say that about him. You are really good enough. 600 million Baileys every year in the future, or I will turn my face directly. He just said casually, and Luo Cheng raised the price. If you talk again, maybe Luo Cheng will have to increase the price again. Forget it. Let's endure it, and pretend that I have never seen Luo Cheng in my life. I understand. Remember, you are not allowed to trouble me again in the future, otherwise, I will also turn my face. Whitebeard turned to leave. Luo Cheng just looked at Whitebeard's back like this, didn't stop him at all, and felt a little excited in his heart. Finally made a big profit again. That for the entire Baisy pirates, $1 billion is not a bit small. Luo Cheng blamed himself for not being very smart. If he can, he must study economics well, so that he can calculate the annual benefit of Whitebeard and know how much money he should extort. But it doesn't matter, except for Whitebeard, there are other people, there are many people in this world that he can extort. Who should be blackmailed next? Red-haired Shanks, or the Big Mom pirates? Alas, these pirates are quite powerful. That is to say, those people do not know Luo Cheng's thoughts, otherwise they will admire Luo Cheng. How dare to blackmail the 4 emperors of New World? And he has successfully extorted 2, but he is still intact. Blue. Just when Luo Cheng was thinking, the phone in his pocket suddenly rang. Luo Cheng didn't hesitate, and immediately took out the phone bug. Luo Cheng, come back to me soon. Sengoku's angry voice came from the opposite side. Understood, I'll be back soon. Luo Cheng hung up the small phone bug, then withdrew his weapon and returned to the warship. A gust of wind blew and pushed the warship away. The entire Whitebeard pirates were watching Luo Cheng, but no one stopped him. They are also not sure to take Luo Cheng completely. If Luo Cheng is really annoyed, they will be in trouble. Luo Cheng stood on the bow and looked at Whitebeard silently, with a sly smile on the corner of his mouth. Whitebeard, bye. Whitebeard seemed to hear Luo Cheng's words, snorted coldly, turned his head, and stopped looking at Luo Cheng. He was afraid that he would be too angry and could not restrain his emotions, so he had to fight Luo Cheng again. I really can't fight Luo Cheng. Naval Headquarters. A warship slowly docked. Luo Cheng got off the warship and looked at the familiar naval headquarters in front of him with a bright smile on his face. I came back at last, kicked me out of naval headquarters, let me go to New World, and now I'm not back. Before Luo Cheng went to New World, Sengoku was afraid that Luo Cheng would jump too much, but now, he had to let Luo Cheng answer. In the office, Sengoku also heard that Luo Cheng was back and waited patiently. But after waiting for a while, Luo Cheng didn't come. Where's Luo Cheng? Why didn't you come? A Marshal Sengoku, Luo Cheng Vice Admiral said he was hungry, went out to eat, and came back after a while. Sengoku's face darkened. He invited Luo Cheng to come over, and Luo Cheng actually had to go to dinner. It was abominable. But when it comes to eating, he is also hunger. Go and inform the cafeteria and let them pack a meal. After another half an hour, Luo Cheng just walked into the office and felt the strange eyes of many people. Turning to look, many marine generals are here. Even 3 admirals are rare at naval headquarters. Marshal Sengoku, do you have anything to do with me? Sengoku's face suddenly became particularly ugly. Luo Cheng. Let me ask you a question, New World. What are you doing to the Whitebeard pirates? Why is Whitebeard chasing you? He transferred Luo Cheng to New World, hoping that Luo Cheng would be more stable and suppress those pirates, instead of letting Luo Cheng die. Luo Cheng was lucky, he actually went to provoke Whitebeard. It's nothing, I just caught Beasta from the Whitebeard pirates, Luo Cheng said calmly. The nearby Marines looked bewildered. Luo Cheng actually caught a member of the Whitebeard pirates, and he was also a captain. Only Sengoku, who already knew what happened from the undercover, also knew what was going on, and was very upset. Have you caught Beasta? Where is Beasta now? It's totally possible to bring him back. Crane Vice Admiral said quickly. If you really catch Beasta, you can use Beasta to threaten Whitebeard, and you can even completely solve the Whitebeard pirates. Oh, I let it go. Luo Cheng said lightly. All the marine generals were stunned. What did they hear? Luo Cheng actually released the captain of the Whitebeard pirates. That is the captain, the status is very high. Sengoku swore that when he first heard the news, he wanted to kill Luo Cheng. Such a captain, actually let it go. And he's also a top-ranked captain. Luo Cheng. What did you say? You let Beasta. Do you know that's the cadre of the Whitebeard pirates? Crane Vice Admiral felt that he did not know Luo Cheng. I always feel that Luo Cheng often does some outrageous things. Luo Cheng. Why did you put Beasta? And it was twice. Sengoku couldn't help asking. The Marines were surprised again. Luo Cheng actually caught Beasta, and he caught it twice, and both times he released Beasta. What is the purpose of doing this? Could it be that Luo Cheng is a pirate? But it shouldn't be possible. If Luo Cheng was a pirate, it shouldn't be possible to catch Whitebeard's man, and let him go. They also have spies in the Whitebeard pirates, and this kind of thing is easy to expose. Luo Cheng was very calm, not worried at all. Simply, didn't you tell me not to provoke Whitebeard? So I let them go. Sengoku was shocked by Luo Cheng's words. Come on, what do you think? I told you not to provoke Whitebeard, you are not provocative anymore. And since the cadres have already been arrested, why should they release them? How do I know? I thought I couldn't provoke the 4 emperors. You signed a covenant with the 4 emperors, so I'll just teach you a lesson. Luo Cheng made an excuse. Sengoku was speechless at Luo Cheng's excuse. He just doesn't want to fight with the 4 emperors, but if there is a chance, he will definitely find an opportunity to defeat the 4 emperors. HMPH, I think it was someone who deliberately let go of the Whitebeard pirates. Sakazuki snorted coldly, feeling very upset. Luo Cheng frowned, turned to look at Sakazuki, and glanced up and down. Dead dog. Do you want to fall again? Sakazuki's face instantly turned ugly. Luo Cheng actually came to call him a dead dog, this is clearly provoking him. If he wasn't sure he couldn't beat Luo Cheng, Sakazuki would definitely give Luo Cheng a lesson. Sengoku's face was particularly ugly. He didn't expect Luo Cheng and Sakazuki to quarrel again. Seeing this, they might fight again. Once these two fight, it's over. Okay, you two stop arguing. Luo Cheng, don't go to New World. Go to Saboti Archipelago, and siege the pirates there. Sengoku interrupted the two, then prepared to transfer Luo Cheng to Saboti Archipelago. He didn't dare to send Luo Cheng to the New World again, because it was too dangerous, and he was afraid that Luo Cheng would challenge other 4 emperors again. Last time it was Kaido, this time it was Whitebeard. He was afraid that Luo Cheng would do something to the red-haired Shanks and Big Mom, and then Marine would completely offend the entire 4 emperors group. Well, am I so unpopular in Marine? To have to transfer me again, forget it, it's like being demoted. Luo Cheng sighed and left in a bit of despair. Sengoku's face darkened. The reason why he transferred Luo Cheng away was not because Luo Cheng was too capable of making trouble. Hang up the 7 warlords of the sea, blackmail the nobles of North Blue's world government, and attack the 4 emperors' pirates at will. It can be said that the Marine and the world government are almost ready to be dealt with. No, Marine's people have been spared. Take Sakazuki, for example. Luo Cheng got his hands on Sakazuki, and he fought so hard that he almost killed Sakazuki. He was afraid that Luo Cheng would cause a few more disasters. Luo Cheng left soon after. He didn't really care. Even if he was transferred to Sabodi Archipelago, he could still do better. The big deal is that after a while, he is sneaking to New World, and he has time anyway. Sengoku was sitting at the desk, thinking of Luo Cheng who had left, and suddenly felt a sense of unease in his heart. Luo Cheng must be making trouble in Sabodi Archipelago again. Probably not. Luo Cheng is not an idiot. But deep down, Sengoku still had an uneasy feeling that something bad was about to happen. Sengoku didn't think too much and continued the meeting. Sabodi Archipelago. It has been more than a month since Luo Cheng came here. During this month, Luo Cheng basically did not go out to work or catch pirates, and lived a very calm life. As for the pirates, that's someone else's life. He has this time, he might as well take a good rest. Anyway, it is also assigned to Sabodi Archipelago, there is no need to work so seriously. On this day, Luo Cheng took Marine and walked on the road of Sabodi Archipelago, wandering along the way to pass the time. There are pirates passing in front of Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng will also pretend not to see. The Marines are impatient, but there is no way. Suddenly, Luo Cheng saw many people kneeling down, as if to greet someone. Seeing this scene, Luo Cheng had already guessed that apart from the self-proclaimed celestial dragons, who else could enjoy such treatment? Luo Cheng didn't think much of it, he immediately walked into the other side of the street and found a place to hide. He has no plans to kneel down, even if this person is the world noble celestial dragons. It didn't take long for celestial dragons to appear in everyone's eyes. The moment Luo Cheng saw this celestial dragons, he couldn't help but glance at it, and his heart was a little budding. This is a beautiful celestial dragons. With long blonde hair, slender thighs, and a bumpy figure, she is clearly a perfect woman. It is estimated that only the pirate queen Boa Hancock can be compared with it, as for the others, it is almost. Even Guion and Ain are slightly inferior. Such beauties are celestial dragons. It seems to be Lord Belliard. A few Marines were talking in low voices. Luo Cheng's mouth twitched. This name sounds like a sick maid of Gua Ocean. But don't say, although they don't look alike, they all look alike, and their names are probably similar. Luo Cheng thought so in his heart. By the way, this one is called Belliade, do you know it too? Of course, it is said that she is the most beautiful girl in celestial dragons. Many celestial dragons are pursuing her, but she doesn't like her, and she is still a pure girl. Marine said cautiously. But soon, Marine also realized that he didn't seem to need to say more, and immediately shut his mouth. After all, they are world nobles celestial dragons, and they are not good at talking about these nobles. Luo Cheng nodded slightly. It looked not only beautiful, but also a very pure girl. He thought that those celestial dragons had many playmates. We provide playmates with special services. The girl named Belliade in front of her shouldn't be such a person, or else I'll go over and visit her tonight. Luo Cheng was thinking in his heart, but he didn't say much, turned around and left. Just a pretty girl. He is not stupid, he ran into the Holy Land Marie Joy's in the middle of the night just to be lucky with a young girl. As long as he wants, he can get a lot of beautiful women, if nothing else. Nico Robin has grown up now. Pirate Empress Boa Hancock is also very attractive, and he can do it to Boa Hancock. In the evening, when Luo Cheng went back, he met Belliard again. Luo Cheng was still hiding in the corner and waiting. But this time, Luo Cheng's luck was bad. Belliard happened to see Luo Cheng by accident. Get those Marines here. Luo Cheng was very helpless, but he was discovered, so he had no choice but to meet Belliard. Lord Belliard. Ordinary Marine immediately knelt on the ground. Their status is too low, and naturally they are not qualified to stand, so they can only kneel respectfully. Only Luo Cheng was still standing there. After all, he is also a world-class powerhouse, so he shouldn't need to kneel to celestial dragons. Actually, it doesn't need to. Bold, don't hurry to kneel to Lord Belliard. The guard in black next to him walked in front of Luo Cheng and slapped him down. The slap was crisp and loud. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't Luo Cheng who was beaten, it was Luo Cheng who slapped the guard in black. Even the face of the guard was flushed, leaving a red slap print on his face. Luo Cheng slapped hard, then rubbed his hand. Really, my face is so thick, my hand hurts, what do you usually do? The black-robed guard was completely stunned. He was actually slapped by Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng dared to rebel against the slaves of the noble world noble celestial dragons. Marine, this is the noble Lord Belliard, do you want to rebel? Swoosh. A Luo Cheng slapped again. Another crisp and loud slap. What's it called? I'm Marine Admiral's alternate, do I still need to ask? As long as that dead dog, a Kainu Admiral, dies accidentally, I'm Marine Admiral. The black-clothed guard was stunned again. Is it a joke that such a young Marine is an Admiral candidate? Absolutely kidding. And also, what Luo Cheng just said, dead dog, actually said Marine Admiral Sakazuki is a dead dog. This is definitely not Marine. Celestial Dragon's girl Belliard slowly stepped forward and looked Luo Cheng carefully up and down. First, didn't expect Marine to be as handsome as you. Yeah, I didn't expect that Celestial Dragons is so beautiful as you. It makes people fall in love at first sight. I feel pity and my heart is moved. Luo Cheng also looked at Belliard carefully, and didn't care about Belliard's status as Celestial Dragons at all. Even Garp dared to call Celestial Dragons rubbish, and it must have been known to the world government. But the world government never blamed Garp, which means that even if the world government doesn't take Marine seriously, it will still pay attention to it. Then he has the strength to fight against Whitebeard, and he is the brother-in-law of Crane Vice Admiral, and Zephyr also values it very much. As long as he doesn't really rebel, the world government will definitely tolerate it, let alone flirting with Celestial Dragons casually. Everyone kneeling nearby was stunned. It's the first time I've seen someone dare to tease Celestial Dragons. Belliard was also a little surprised, and then became interested. After watching it carefully, the more he looked, the more he thought Luo Cheng was handsome. Especially compared with the fat-headed Celestial Dragons in the 5 big and 3 thick Marine, Luo Cheng looks even more handsome. How's it going, Marine? Do you want to marry me, so I can keep you Marshal Marine in the future? Belliard became more and more interested, and even wanted to take possession of Luo Cheng, and Luo Cheng also wanted to take Belliard. Pretty BBW who doesn't want.